What up, world? It's Mac. Tell me something slick and make it stick. Yes, sir, baby. I am back with my guy, my bro, the one, the fucking only, motherfucking B.Cox from Vault Classic. We are back in the building. B.Cox, how you feeling, baby?
My brother Mac, what is going on, man? I am good, man. It's good to be back. I'm glad to be here with you, man. Glad to be amongst the living and just glad to be back to real to talk some more music, man. I've been away for a while, man. We were just talking before we went on. It's been a while since we've been together and have linked up to do another one of these collaborations, man. But life is life for me, man. But I'm back on the right track, and I'm just glad to be back in doing content again, man. I expect a lot more from me coming out, man. But I'm glad to be here, man. Glad to be here with you tonight, bro. I'm ready to chop it up for real.
Well, y'all, man, listen, this has been something in the makers, y'all. I know I get all the messages. Y'all been on my head about getting B.Cox, who is not a friend to the channel. He's a brother to the channel. And I'm gonna say the delay the last few times was on me. It wasn't on brother B.Cox. But I had to get things situated, guys. Thank y'all for supporting Cinderella. Y'all made it number one. I want to say again, thank you. We got part 2 on the way, and it may be something ensuing after that. But I'm just gonna let y'all know we got part 2 on the way. I just want to say thank y'all, man, for supporting the project. But again, man, I'm back in my my pocket, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me and B.Cox again, man. So anyway, let me just set the format for y'all. I have no idea how this man is about to rank none of these runs. I gave B.Cox the ingredients, but you don't tell the master chef how to cook his shit. You let him cook his shit how he cook his shit. I just said, B.Cox, this is the format. These are the people that we got to rank. B.Cox, as he always does, will eloquate beautifully on why he's ranking them and where he's ranking them. So without further ado, B.Cox, as we kick off the 20th ranked all-time greatest run, sir, who do you have? Let's go.
Okay, so you want me to run this down just straight off 20 to 1, just straight, and then go through them then afterwards?
Yeah, just take us, go through them, and then let's come back to why you did it.
Okay,
all right. In B.Cox style.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do first, right? What I have is I do have, and I did have to put down some honorable mentions because I felt like to just limit it to 20 to me is almost impossible, but I had to do it. And I wanted to put some people down for honorable mentions that I felt were worthy of some mentions that didn't make my 20, but were damn worthy of being mentioned for having legendary runs, and they needed to be recognized. So honorable mentions, this is who I have on my list, and I'm bringing it up right now, so y'all bear with your boy for a second. Here we go. All right, here we go. So for honorable mentions, I have honorable mentions in there: Run DMC, Self-Explanatory, Public Enemy, Gangstar, Future, UGK, Young Jeezy, Busta Rhymes. It's all people that I wanted to bring in as honorable mentions in regards to having some of the best runs of all time. Didn't make my top 20. Not to say that they're not legendary. And again, this is just in my opinion. So y'all come for me saying things like, oh, B.Cox did had this person. I had that person this 20, didn't have this 20. Hey, it's my opinion. And my opinions changed, man. My opinions have changed a lot over a lot of these artists that I'm going to list here. And it's all based on, it's all subjective, right? It's all relative based on your experiences, what you know, and everything else. So here we're gonna go break down my top 20 from 20 to 1.
Let's go.
Okay, number 20. I actually had a tie. My tie, T.I. and Ludacris tied together at number 20. Number 19, 50 Cent. Number 18, Rick Ross. Number 17, Mobb Deep. Number 16, Tribe Called Quest. Number 15, Scarface.
Ooh.
Number 14, LL Cool J.
Ooh.
Number 13, Drake.
Ooh.
Number 12, Lil Wayne.
Ooh.
Number 11, Snoop.
Uh-oh.
Number 10, Wu-Tang.
Ooh.
Number 8, Ice Cube.
Ooh.
Number 7, Eminem. Number 6, OutKast. And then now breaking into my top 5.
Woo! Let's go, B.Cox.
All right. So in my top 5 for greatest runs in hip hop, 5, I have Tupac. 4, I have Big. 3, I have Kendrick. 2, I have Nas.
Okay.
And number 1, I have Jay-Z.
All right, B.Cox. Let's break them down, man. Let's go. Take me through the honorable mentions, B.Cox, and then let's go to the 20.
Yeah, of course, man. So honorable mentions. And again, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned all these artists on here because I felt they all had separate legendary runs that were worthy of mention that need to be put out there in regards to either what they accomplished, what sort of legacy or impact they had, what effect they had on the culture, commercially what they've done, and they were all things that needed to be recognized. First up, Run DMC. So that really doesn't need a whole lot of explaining, but I'll go ahead and go through it anyway. This is really the first commercially successful rap supergroup that rap had. You know, there were tons of groups that came before Run DMC. I mean, you want to talk about the Cold Crush Brothers, the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash, the Funky Four plus one more, the Treacherous Three, so many other groups that are out there. People mention the Sugar Hill Gang, mention other collectives such as Zulu Nation, but Run DMC was the first rap supergroup and superstars that emerged from that, and really the first headlining artist of Def Jam when Def Jam became a thing. What they did in their day, starting with their debut album, and going on all the way through the mid 80s, really heading into the late 80s, they helped to create, really to bring, I guess, to start bringing hip hop into the forefront. You know, Run DMC and rest in peace Jam Master Jay. I mean, they really did give us the look. I mean, it was the Adidas suits, you know, the hats, the, you know, the styles, the all that stuff that you heard, the music that was the crossovers that they had with Metallica, you know, my Adidas is the Sucker MCs, you know, all those things, Down with the Kings. And they stayed right in that pocket in the 80s when rap was starting to really break out of its shell and start to make some headways onto the radio stations. And they were right there at the forefront of that. They are really forefathers of rap. And if you look at Run DMC's impact and see all the people, especially the folks that we grew up listening to, Mac, that we consider some of our greatest in our era, so many of them credit Run DMC for helping them get into rap. You know, so many of them will credit and give respect to Run and DMC and Jam Master Jay for breaking open that door and allowing them to be able to have the careers that they had, to be successfully, commercially, and then also to have the respect amongst folks in the game. Now their run ended, you know, really didn't last much into the 90s, a little bit into the 90s. By the time we got into the close to the mid 90s, at that point, Run DMCs were just considered to be forefathers at that point. But they were influences to a lot of people in that era that were coming up during that time. So that's my take on Run DMC. I mean, Raising Hell, Run DMC, still very, very culturally significant and classic out there, you know, and it's something that none of us can ignore. Public Enemy. Probably, I would say, when you're talking about top 5 most culturally significant as far as like the culture crossing over, not just into hip hop culture, but into African American culture, Black culture, protest culture, Public Enemy's right there. And since they emerged right in the second half of the 80s, with Yo, Bum Rush the Stage, to their culturally groundbreaking and recognized by so many people as the best hip hop album of all time. Their sophomore album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, released in 1988. To their seismic and also groundbreaking album, their third album, Fear of a Black Planet, you know, into their third album, Apocalypse 91. So they really did create the music for a movement, the protest movement. Everything from 911 is a joke to Welcome to the Terror Dome. And of course, most famously, Fight the Power. Can't Trust It. They really did give voice to the Blacks anti-culture movement. And they were true to their message. They did stand for something. Their music now is still relevant today, obviously, because of what they stood for. That to me was just you know, they are culturally relevant because of who they were. I mean, everybody remembers a lot about Do the Right Thing as a movie, but the one thing we do know that Do the Right Thing helped to do was to bring Fight the Power right into the cultural forefront. And it is a
Yes, sir.
song that is maintained now for almost 40 years. That is still the song that everybody remembers Public Enemy behind. Chuck D, one of the best, not only MCs of his era with one of the most recognizable voices, but also a culture commentator, a stand up for hip hop culture, somebody who has become someone who has been a bit of a mentor and then also a bit of a teacher as well. Even now to this day, almost 30 some odd years until after now that Public Enemy's last real success, which came in 1998 when He's Got Game, the movie, and then also the following album. He's been a standout in the culture, always commenting on social, political matters, and staying true basically to what Public Enemy's mission was. So they have that run, and that run from them starting in 1987 all the way up to about 1991, at least for those 3 albums, those 4 albums, but then also coming back later on in the decade to be able to still have commercial success, stands on its own. Next up, Gang Starr. I mean, it doesn't get really a whole lot better when it comes to producer and MC combos than Premier and Guru. And here is a group, obviously, with 2 guys that came together and found themselves together, coming from places where, you know, obviously they weren't seeing as much success where they were. Guru from Boston and Premier from Houston, Texas. So now here's this rapper from Boston, educated at Morehouse College, and this DJ and producer from Houston, Texas. And they converge somewhere in New York City and then become the sound, the defining sound of underground hip hop during the late 80s into the early 90s. You look at their albums, even their debut album, No More Mr. Nice Guys, a very, very solid debut. But once you start getting into Step Into the Arena, I'll tell you this, Mac. Definitely, Gang Starr has about as impressive as a 4-album run as anybody does. I'm talking about 91's Step Into the Arena, 92's Daily Operation, 94 Hard to Earn, and 1998's Moment of Truth. Try to tell me what your best one is out of that one. And I'm telling you, you could talk to 100 people. You'll probably get 70 different answers and combinations of people ranking those albums. And you know what? You wouldn't necessarily be wrong if you ranked them in any particular order. It all depends on whatever your taste of Gang Starr is. But no matter what, they always stay true to the underground. Premier with that sound that he fine-tuned over the years, using those jazz samples and other samples he would take. Guru with that monotone voice, with that voice that was so recognizable and that flow that was so understated.
Yes, sir.
At the same time, you know, and their success started from 1989, went all the way into the end of the decade to when they released Full Clip. And you want to talk about stuff with the underground? Yeah. But on that Moment of Truth album, people don't understand. They had a couple of bangers that actually made the charts. And that Moment of Truth album, to me, is what solidified me perfectly as a Gang Starr fan and respected their work to see them doing it almost a decade later. So had to give props to Gang Starr on that.
Okay, I like it.
Future. Now, I look, we've talked about this before, Mac. I'm not the biggest Future fan in the world. I'm not. I'm not. And I'm sorry to y'all out there if that's your man, right? But I gotta give the boy props. From when I first heard him in 2011 up until I would say the late 2010s, even into the 2020s, the boy has been on absolute fire with his commercial success. What he has done is helped to create a sound that has, as you mentioned it in one of our DMs, Mac, has helped to craft another sound of rappers, artists, and vocalists that have copied him afterwards. You talk about, like you said, the 2 albums you mentioned to me, DS2 and What a Time to Be Alive, the collab with Drake.
Come on.
Major smash hits. Even I can understand that. And I do know that he is on a very short list of rappers. When you talk about getting it popping in the strip club, man, there's not too many people much better than him to go get it when it gets to popping in the strip club. So commercial success, Future gets props.
Okay.
For being able to maintain that success and create a legacy of where people have sort of copied his style afterwards. He gets that as well. So I do have to give my props to Future because he really did become that argument. People talk about when you think about Atlanta hip hop, what do you talk about? We know the names we talk about somehow, some way, even though I'm not impressed overall by some of the quality of his music, he has found a way into that conversation. And you know what? Even the best of us cannot deny the fact that he belongs in that conversation.
Talk to him, B.Cox. Come on, talk to him.
He does. UGK.
Oh, okay. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's another really dynamic duo. When you talk about the balance between two styles that contrast each other so well. And moving out from, everything from, Pocket Full of Stones, into Riding Dirty to Dirty Money, moving us into Big Pimpin', then all the way into Underground Kings to right before Pimp C tragically passed away. You want to talk about the defining, like, Texas hip hop, in particular that Third Coast, Houston, Port Arthur, they are defining characteristic of that. Their run starting in the early 90s all the way into the mid 2000s, and even had to take a break after Pimp was locked up, and Bun had to carry that UGK banner, and he did it valiantly for a few years himself, and is still doing it now to this day. But they've been a defining sound to that. You want to talk to many people from Texas, from that side, that area of the world, right in there in Texas. UGK, for a lot of them, is right near the top of their list of their favorite artists from that area. They came to define that sound and define an era as well, man. So props to UGK. Riding Dirty, to me, when it comes to my favorite Texas hip hop albums, is in my top 3. In my top 3.
Because let me just insert if for those that don't know, me and B.Cox, everybody he mentioned, and we've already got previous content. Go back and look. He even broke down UGK's catalog, even and discography even greater. Just want to throw that out there. Carry on, B.Cox.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Young Jeezy, obviously, man. The cultural impact, crazy. I mean, the Snowman mixtape series, Boys in the Hood, really jumped out with that Thug Motivation series, man. 101, 103, right all the way into the recession. I mean, he had a time period and it was a short period if you think about it, from like 2005 up until about 2008, 2009, where he was absolutely on fire and the boy could not miss. And he was putting out album after album after album, and it was a hit after a hit after a hit. Those mixtapes, Can't Ban the Snowman, still classic, right? He put himself inside of that conversation when you talked about Atlanta hip hop as well. And then he had a feature run that was also legendary too. Very, very recognizable and classic voice, and those ad libs. I mean, he really did help to create that whole culture. The whole thing between him and Gucci, which culminated in the verses that happened a few years back, which was classic that they did inside of Magic City, was a whole part of the thing. Jeezy had a run that was very, very short, but impactful. And then even now, years later, and I even pointed this out when they did the verses a few years back, I told him, like, Gucci volume of content, probably he's got a lot more mixtapes and has put out a lot more music. I said, but man, I don't know if his music with his fans is going to resonate. I said, but you know what? In verses, you got to have music, like you have to have the music that's going to resonate with the masses. That's true. As limited as the time it was that Jeezy had close to the top, boy, it was, like I said, hit after hit after hit, and you can't deny the fact that the impact was absolutely huge for the time that he was close to the top, man.
Talk about it.
So for commercial success, the impact that he had, lots and lots of memorable songs and hooks, and then features as well. Had to give props to Jeezy for that too.
Because let me ask a question, because I gotta ask this for the viewers.
Sure.
You went in that honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
You went with Jeezy over Gucci. I just want to ask a question.
Yeah.
What was it that Gucci didn't do to qualify for your honorable mention? This is B.Cox's honorable mention.
Well, to me, I just think Gucci had a lot of great things. And he had some great hits too, man. I mean, obviously, he had a lot of memorable hits, and he had some songs out there that people know word for word. For me, it's just Jeezy music hit harder for me, you know.
Okay.
To me, his music when I did listen to the radio, I heard it a lot more on the radio. I know people that know more Jeezy songs than they know Gucci songs, but I probably know more Jeezy fans than I know Gucci fans. You know, but I think universally, if you were to ask people to probably recite a Jeezy gun to your head, recite a Jeezy or a Gucci song, or you're dead. More people, I think, would recite a good Jeezy song before they would recite a Gucci song. And that's just my personal opinion. I may be wrong. Y'all might tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. So
all right. I asked because I know I'm asking because I know the people and our followers. Carry on, B.Cox. Carry on.
I understand, man. And my last honorable mention, none other than the great Busta Rhymes, man. Longevity, he has it over so many of these other folks in this. This is we're talking about now. It's almost 40 years of him being around in the game alone. From Leaders of the New School, into having his debut album now 30 years ago this year, which I bought, by the way. It's just been a career that has been really blessed with longevity. To his trademark style when he first started, loud, boisterous, in your face, those trademark dreadlocks, to eventually him switching up the style a little bit on his second album, and those videos that caught your eyes that were visual kaleidoscopes, right? I mean, visually just really, really caught you with all the crazy things that you saw. Put your hands where my eye can see, to give me some more. Those albums, the Dangerous, like all those ones, right? Those videos that eventually became hip-hop staples. But he may not, and you can argue maybe with a couple of his albums, he may not have a surefire bona fide classic, but what he has is a run of catalogs of albums that are damn good and consistent. There's not really a whole lot of, you could say, oh, damn, that's a dud of a Busta album. You might have an argument for maybe one, perhaps maybe even two, but he's got a catalog of albums that are damn good albums, right? I liken it to somebody just playing baseball and is not necessarily a 500 home run hitter, but they hitting 275 and they're getting on base probably 75% of the time. That's exactly what the hell Busta Rhymes has done. Oh, and then let's not even talk about his features, right? Let's not even talk about all the features that he's done over the years. Let's not even talk about all the club hits he's had, the crossover hits that he's had. Janet Jackson, Sean Paul. I mean, the longevity. Like I said, we're coming up on, it will be probably close to 40 years that he would have been in the game when he started with Leaders of the New School. And he was so impressive that even Chuck D himself gave him his rap name. And he has maintained that success. He has continued to have hit songs on the radio up until even, I would say, into the mid 2010s. And he's still out there doing it, man. And people still give him his props because they know that this is a brother that needs his props within the culture because of what he's done and for how long he's been doing it.
Busta, damn, B.Cox, you got me with that one. I can't. Busta B.Cox is the one artist you can't say nothing bad about.
Yeah.
He that guy that's gonna hit 300 and get to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
baseball, like you said, he gonna bat 300. Nothing astronomical, but he's consistent. Oh, consistent. I love that. B.Cox.
Yeah,
love that. Go ahead, brother. Love
that.
Yeah,
man. So that was my honorable mention. That's who I felt like needed to have some mention, and I had to, little things kept them off of my top 20. But I had them there because I had to realize, they need some props because they have some legendary runs, and some of them longer than others. But that was my honorable mention right there before I even got to my top 20.
Whew, I love it. All right, top 20 countdown beginning now. Let's go, baby.
All right. So my 20, I told you I had a tie. My tie was between T.I. and Luda. Okay.
This shit. I got.
And when you talk about Atlanta hip hop and you talk about hip hop in the 2000s, they kind of go together, don't they? I mean, in so many different ways. Even with the little beef that they had in 2005 and 2006 with each other when they were battling for the King of Atlanta, and they came into the game right around the same time. Luda dropped his first album in 2000. T.I. dropped his first album in 2001. They both made an impact some way or the other in their debut albums. But in their second albums, I would say they probably started to branch out both during their second albums and became bigger stars. Luda with Word of Mouth and T.I. with Trap Music. They both have multiple platinum albums. Many commercial hits, the two of them. Ridiculous feature runs, both Luda and T.I. Luda's feature run is ridiculous, but T.I.'s is nothing to sneeze at either. Street anthems, both of them. Hustler anthems, both of them. Club hits, both of them. Both have killed their features over the years. They've exhibited staying power, and they've had longevity. To me, when it comes to solo artists, I have dubbed them the Cold Kings of Atlanta.
I love it. Because go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, keep looking. Go ahead.
And with them, you could even look at their catalogs and say, "Yep, couple classic albums here, couple classic albums there," and commercially they've stayed viable, and they've also said culturally relevant throughout this time, and they really were the ones to help to pick up that torch of that first generation of Atlanta hip hop artists, and then really take it into the new generation and new millennium. 20 years, by the way, 20 plus years, by the way, for both of them. Actually, we're coming up on 25 years for both of a run.
Because I'm going to say this, when you give them both, I think that's apropos to give them both a tie. Because it really, in so many different metrics, and obviously your metrics is a lot more intricate than mine ever will be. But here's what I like about them both. They both went on to they've had hood hits, they've had commercial success. But the thing about it, even now, T.I. still dropping bangers with Pharrell. I mean, he got me waiting on the goddamn album as if I turned back the hands of time and shit waiting on this goddamn album.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just saying. So I think that's fair where you can't put one over the other. B.Cox. Title apropos, man. I love it. All right.
Cool.
What we got?
At 19, I have 50 Cent. And some people may say this, they may seem this a little high, but I have my reason for doing so. 19, 50 Cent. Okay. Obviously, we all know the story. Landmark major label debut album. I mean, Get Rich or Die Trying. I mean, whenever you get an album like that sells as many records as it did when it was in the first week, then as many albums as it sold now, a diamond platinum certified album that in 2003 was unquestionably, I would say, the rap album of the year, hip hop album of the year. You can make arguments for others. Then afterwards, follow that up with bringing out his clique, G Unit, and setting the table for them. Right?
True.
Had two other solid albums afterwards with The Massacre and Curtis.
Okay.
Solid albums afterwards. But both of those albums also had great commercial hits on them.
That's a fact.
And he has multiplied that success throughout each one of his albums with the success on the charts. And the charts is really where he steps a level above a lot of different artists from his era. I mean, nobody could say, the man had Billboard #1 hit within the club. All the hot hits in the Hot 100. Helped his artist on his label, aka his clique, set them up also for success as well. Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, The Game, even though he was on G Unit for a very, very short period of time. I mean, that's a part of his legacy as well when we're talking about as far as like a run that you have. And he was a big part of being able to make sure that those albums got off. I mean, including Game's album, he was a huge part of the features and what he did on that album, being an executive producer of helping that album to stand out.
Okay.
He made G Unit a household name, not just the record label and the clique, but then make it into brand worldwide. Okay. He managed to stay relevant long after he stopped recording music, right? And I know we're talking about hip hop music, but what he was able to take with his music and also to parlay that into so many different other business successes does have some mention. But then even now, 21 years after his major label debut album, we're still talking about Get Rich or Die Trying because it's one of those where were you when moments, right? When that album dropped, And when you popped it in and you listened to it for the very first time, it's one of those where were you when moments.
Come on,
and as a result of that, a lot of people took that 50 persona and wanted to adopt that as well into their own personas. How many other copycats we probably seen in some way, shape, or form of a 50? He has taken that from being the gangster, then now into master troll. So this is something that obviously now we see with 50 years later. The only thing that I would say the mark against 50 as to why he's not higher on my list, he kind of just stopped recording music after a while. But then I can understand why he stopped recording music. Because then when you become, at some point in time, worth close to $1 billion, and you invest in brands and those brands blow up, and then you get involved into television and you have a production company, and then you create a starred hit, television series which takes off, and that becomes a part of popular culture as well. Then you have so many other different projects that you're involved in. Well, if it's like, well, shit, if I could make money doing this, then why the hell am I going to the studio and slave and go make music for? True. I've done all that. All the success that I would need or anybody would ever want in music, I've done it already. So my only knock on 50 is that he's got this run from 03 to about 07. And then after that, it kind of just musically wise, it just stopped after that. The peak did. It really didn't. He didn't have anywhere elsewhere to go other than that. So huge success. All of his albums, platinum albums and everything, the charts, off the charts. Culturally, just stuff like I said, he has a watershed moment with that debut album, man, and it's just something that we can't deny or ignore at all.
B.Cox, let me ask you this: why did him coming out now? And this is what some hip hop purists will say. He came out with two of the biggest giants in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Anytime you have Dre anywhere in the proximity of you, it's a fucking hit. Me and Dre and B.Cox right now is a hit. Just Dre around us will make a hit. Eminem at that time, he had immediate exposure to Eminem fan base. B.Cox, my question is, how did you factor that in? Was that what made that not a detraction for you?
This is why it's not a detraction for me. Dre, Hitman. Look at all the other artists on Aftermath that never blew up under Dre's production, right? The ones that never even got released. Eminem, D12, successful, but not nearly as successful as anybody could be, right? Okay, so and there's definitely the first artist that 50 or Eminem have worked with that haven't, that some people have it and some don't.
Ooh. I'm done. Carry on, B.Cox. On to number 9. On to number 18. Yes,
that's the only thing I can say, man. Either you got it or you don't, man.
What you want me to say after that?
That's it. That's it, bro. That's it, man. So at 18, at 18, I actually had Rick Ross, and I struggled with doing this, man. I wasn't even going to include him on my list at all, but you convinced me.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. You convinced me. You convinced me. And let me tell you this after I did a little bit of my research, right? Because I like some of his music, not a lot of it, but some of it. But let me tell you the reason why he's on my list. Again, 20 plus years now, he's been doing it. He came out the gate, huge hit. Debut album, Port of Miami, dropped. It was a smash, right? And then he started following it up, and he continued doing it. And he was consistent. He continued to be able to stay relevant on far as the charts was concerned. He started churning out hits. And his album stayed to be bangers in people's cars, man. His production, as you mentioned to me, Ross, and somebody mentioned this. Shout out to my boy Tony the Dome and so many my other Twitter accounts out there, hip hop, that have mentioned this before. He is probably one of the best, if not, I would say in this generation, the best picker of beats when it comes to beats that match him better than almost anybody. If nothing else, you're going to know that Ross's beats on his albums and on his tracks are going to bump. And that ear is what catches you, And so because of that, he's been able to crank out a formula. He's cranked out a formula, being able to make some songs. He's put out some banger and smash hits over these last 20 years, featuring so many different people, from, with Wale, with Meek Mill, with Drake, you know, with Chrisette Michelle. I mean, so many different others. I mean, he's done songs with all these people, and he's been able to stay on top with that and continually be able to put out a good level of quality production during that time. Successful and commercially, he's been great. The one knock that I have on Ross, even after doing it for 20-something years, is this.
Talk to me.
His music is formulaic. It's the same shit over and over and over again. Nothing changes. Bro, you mean to tell me in 20 years of doing music, your music hasn't shifted to something about what success has meant to you, how you've matured, or nothing? It's the same shit. It's Maybachs, Bugattis, the strip club, food. Like, yo, it's the same shit for 20 years. That's it.
B.Cox.
Same shit.
I go ahead. Go ahead. I'll say my commentary when you finish. Go ahead.
Like, bro, you haven't grown any? Like, ain't nothing happened in your life that you've been proud of that you can talk about other than Bugattis and Maybachs and food, hustling and trapping and having beef with niggas, and like, you don't. I'm just
because I don't think I mean, as far as the evolution of the MC, he has not evolved.
That nigga has not evolved
that
at all.
Nigga is, we talk about arrested development. That motherfucker is the definition of arrested development as far as lyrical content.
That motherfucker is Fred Flintstone still using his feet to pedal the goddamn car down the street. That is it.
That motherfucker is still stuck at the port of Miami.
Yes, still.
I will give Ross this, and because we'll get on to our next individual. I respected the fact that he got multiple verses with Nas. You don't get Nas on track. Everybody
absolutely
Nas on a track. Now, of course, he's not going to ever outshine Nas. No, nobody does. Nobody but Jesus can out-rap Nas, and I'm hoping Jesus can do that. Respectfully, because you know what Nas did when he was 12. Anyway, anyway,
he went
but
to hell. Good one.
Talk your shit, because okay, and then to spar with Jay-Z. Those are two titans, B.Cox, of our generation and our era. He's got multiple songs with them.
Feature Run Ross is actually very quietly slept on as well.
Okay. I just wanted to say that, B.Cox.
Yeah, posse tracks. Posse tracks, he been on those as well, man. And so he is good for that. I mean, I got to give Ross his props. Okay, production-wise, excellent, consistent, and he's going to give you something that's going to bang in your trunk and bang in the club.
Good call, B. I love that, B.Cox. Loving the list, man. All right, B.Cox, who we got? Who's our next one?
17.
Yes, sir.
QBC, Mobb Deep.
Woo! The infamous. Come on, B.Cox. Yeah.
So this is what I wrote down for them. Had a debut album that didn't hit that hard, but then came back strong on the second one. Second, third, and fourth albums universally recognized as albums that all will sit no matter who you talk to. If you want to talk to anybody, ask the top 30 or 50 albums within the 90s, people are going to have their second, third, and fourth albums in those lists, no doubt. The infamous Hell on Earth and Murder Music, without a doubt.
Come on.
Top 30 to 50. All of them have to be in there. They have to be in there.
Come on,
They represented street life. They had a version of what I said called talking about hardcore rap, which eventually created a legion of fans for them that were very, very loyal. It was really a dark depiction of street life. When you talk about Mobb Deep rap, it's a certain feeling when you talk about when you listen to those albums, right? It gets you in a certain mood.
Yes, sir.
They touched major chart success with Murder Music, with that Quiet Storm. They also had great hits on that third one as well. Sophomore album in the infamous is universally recognized as being mentioned among one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, and is on a short list of so many of being one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. The third album, Hell on Earth, is still considered as one of the darkest and dopest albums of that era and during that time, and considered to be not that far of a drop-off from the infamous as well. And for my money, I would say it's not that far of a drop-off from the infamous either. And if you catch me on a day I just might play Hell on Earth more than I might play The Infamous, depending on that day. If it's a cold January day, 40 degrees here in the DMV, or heading into 30 degrees, and that might be a Hell on Earth day right there. It is definitely one of the essential cold weather albums out there in hip hop history.
Come on, B.Cox.
And I would have to say that they've also found their success in the 2000s, into there with Infamy, into 2005 and 2006, where they still had albums that definitely banged and made some noise, up until the point when they had their dissolution. And Prodigy, may he rest in peace. Prodigy is an MC, man, from 95 to 96, had one of the best runs as an MC in regards to the verses that he put out between Mobb Deep stuff and the features that he did, that was so overshadowed by what was going on in hip hop during that time, but is now being recognized finally by people as one of the elite runs that an MC has had in regards to his pen game and what he did on tracks, man. And they created a part of a subculture as well of fans, and a very loyal group of fans that has recognized their work as them being on a short list of some one of the best hip hop duos of all time, and overall one of the best hip hop groups of all time.
B.Cox, I have nothing to. There's nothing. All I'm gonna ask you is this, because the fans are gonna want to know this. What does B.Cox feel about their latest Mobb Deep album? Because we haven't recorded since that last Mobb Deep album dropped. Yeah. Let me just allow you to go ahead and give you a quick assessment of the album before we move on, B.Cox. Because
I mean, it's good. It's Havoc production that hasn't fell off. That's still the same.
Okay.
Havoc to me has really stepped up in these years. His pen game has always been solid to good, and at times great. It was good and solid here as well. Okay. Knowing that you had Prodigy on the album, but knowing that he's here. I mean, the AI thing was crazy, right? But to me, the thing that keeps me away from it is that, like, that's not P, you know? Okay. That's not him. Okay. It isn't him. So for nostalgia purposes, it was good to hear something like that, right? But I just knew it wasn't complete to me because Prodigy's not here no more. May he rest in peace.
Fair enough. All right. Y'all got B.Cox assessment on it. Carry on, B.Cox.
So 16. And I struggled putting them up this high, but I had my reasons for doing it, and I'll explain it during this. One of my favorite groups of all time, A Tribe Called Quest.
B.Cox love them.
I mean, what really can I say? What I wrote down: popularized, not created, but popularized the jazz rap sound.
Okay.
Those jazz samples that Q-Tip worked and used on those first albums that he continued to use in his production for so many years afterwards. It really did popularize that sound, man. They gave birth to a new meaning of bass through the low end, right? Okay. They gave us the definition of what the low end meant when it came to that sound of bass. And rest in peace to Bob Power, by the way, who passed away not that long ago, who was the architect of that album, The Low End Theory. Their first three albums universally acclaimed. The middle two albums, The Low End Theory 1991 and Midnight Marauders 1993. I mean, it really is universally accepted as some of the best hip hop albums of all time. Undisputed. They became, throughout their time, they became icons of culture, style, smarts, and throughout their time of them being together, and even now afterwards, after Phife Dawg has passed away, and may he rest in peace, they were the main flag bearers of the Native Tongues movement. They really were. Tribe was the alternative to so many of the other things coming out during that time. This really was the time when gangster rap started to rise to commercial success and really was becoming popular. Tribe was a part of that movement, but it was the alternative of that, of what else you want to have during that time period. To having the contrast of Q-Tip style, very low, understated, smooth as well, then the wit and the sharpness of Phife Dawg to come in, who really was the heart and soul of A Tribe Called Quest. I mean, you want to talk about like those two albums, man, The Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. Tribe fans will forever have the dispute about which album is the better album. And they created really so many, and influence created so many groups that followed after them that took after their style, you know? that took after what it was that Tribe represented and tried to replicate that. And not many could do it like them. I would say nobody could do it like them.
Talk to me.
They really did give that sound. And had it not been for their breakup, which happened in 1998, and had they had Tip and Fife been able to work it out, and had they been able to not bring in other people, I mean, bringing in JD to help produce Beat from Their Life is one thing, but had they been able to creatively stay on the same track, had they not taken that break immediately after Midnight Marauders, ain't no telling what they might have done. Their run might be so legendary right now, they'd probably be in my top 5 right now.
Ooh.
But be that as it may, the Love Movement did happen, and while there were some good tracks on there, it was a sad end of a breakup that album signified. And then we got the posthumous album. We got it from here. Thank you for your service, which was an incredible album, which came out in 2016. Now it's 10 years later. And the legacy of Tribe is now outstanding because of what they meant to so many people afterwards, what their music has meant. And now we're still looking at tracks from those albums, from the first 3, even from Beats, Rhymes, and Life afterwards, that hit so hard with people nowadays. And you can't find so many more things more smoother than a Tribe Called Quest album, or something that can really get you in the mood, and a chill, introspective move, or a head nod move like the way Tribe Called Quest can, man. The way that bass hit and the way that those drums hit, man. And to hear those rhymes from Q-Tip and from Fife, it hit every single time. Every single time.
B.Cox, let me ask you. First of all, I know you gushed at nauseam about Midnight Marauders. It's one of your all-time favorite albums, man. Anybody that's a fan of our series know how you feel about that album. Because do you think that group right there alone, had they not had Acrimony, do you think, like, out of every other group that broke up, out of every other dissension in hip-hop and riffs, is that the one entity that left the most desired?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they had so much left on the table. Because in their solo releases afterward, and their work individually afterwards, Q-Tip, through his work as a solo artist, and then also as a producer of other people, Fife as a solo artist, and then Ali Shaheed through his production work for many other people, including folks like D'Angelo and Raphael Sadiq, they all show that they still had it. And they had it in spades.
Love it.
Imagine breaking up the Bulls after 1998. Oh, wait, they did.
They did. They did. The fucking idiots did.
You know?
The fucking idiots did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I liken it to, because they had so much more in the tank, and they had a lot individually to give, man. And if I had a perfect world, I would have never had them broken up. At this point, I'd have seen their catalog be 8 albums deep, with the majority of them being classics, more than likely.
Enough said, because well said as always, sir. I'm ready for the top 15.
All right. Number 15. Brother Brad Jordan himself, Scarface.
Woo! My dog. Let's go. Yes, sir. You know how we feel about face around here. Come on.
You know how we feel about Brother Mob, man. We know how we feel about Brother Mob. So what I wrote down, Wily veteran, who has, as I put in my words, maintained his respect, and universally maintained his respect. To me, one of the most underrated, but one of the best storytellers that the game has had in its history. Imagery and tales of the street, hardcore lyrics, but also simultaneously emotionally driven and heartfelt at the same time. A very hard combination to be able to put together, but Face pulled it off. Has one of the strongest and one of the most loyal fan bases in the game. You would tell people, Scarface fans will argue you down for everything about, one, his standing in the game, and then 2, about what albums are his best. And they'll tell you that. And I'm nothing else in my 40 some odd years here on this earth, I can tell you, Face Mob fans do not play around. He's earned that respect for them based on his body of work.
That's a fact.
He's had multiple hits, has had multiple classic albums, not just from himself, but also with the Ghetto Boys. We talk about longevity. We're talking about Ghetto Boy starting all the way back in 1988, going all the way into his solo work into the 90s of himself. Mr. Scarface is back. The Diary, Untouchable, My Homies, The Fix. I mean, so many, The Last of a Dying Breed. All these albums I'm running down that you know about this work from Scarface, and all of it consistent, and none of it's some bullshit. None of it's some bullshit.
None of it.
You can't name one Scarface album you said to me like, man, that Scarface album was some shit. Not one of them. You can.
You can't.
You cannot.
Talk your shit, B.Cox.
Having that longevity now for, we're looking at again, close to 40 years. And this is run from 1998 to Grip It on That Other Level, all the way to Deeply Rooted. I mean, look at that time span. We're talking about late 80s into mid 2010s. A solid body of work. The one knock against Scarface,
talk to me,
is that he didn't have the commercial success. Just doesn't match up. But that's because his music wasn't made commercially. It was made from the heart. It was made from his experiences. And it was made for his fans and for the game. One thing that you could ever say about Scarface, he's can never, ever can be accused of being called a sellout.
No, sir.
Or not keeping it real. And while the commercial success hasn't been there, while he's had some of it, The Fix was a damn good album that sold him a lot of records. And he sold lots of records throughout many of the albums that he's had. He hasn't reached the heights of so many other top people we talk about that sold the most records of all time. But when it comes to respect, reputation, and image, not many more people have it better than Brother Mob, man. He has been that consistent, and he has been that true to himself and to the game.
B.Cox, you know, we did a piece on Scarface that people still devour up to this day. It's out there. Me and B.Cox is on the channel. We did we went through a discography. Because let me ask you this: do you think, and these are all going to have to be hypotheticals because this is your list and how you rank them based on your criterion? Do you think had he had that machine like a Def Jam or a bigger machine behind him, Vice Rap-A-Lot, from an indie standpoint, do you think Face would be even higher, would have made it even higher on your list than 15? Had he got more national acclaim, or he didn't get enough radio? The commercial success.
I wouldn't say, I think he had national acclaim. I just think the radio success wasn't there.
Okay.
But he didn't have too many radio hits. He had I would say he had a couple of handfuls of them, but they weren't huge hits. I mean, there were a couple of huge hits on the radio, but not nearly as much as you thought. But I don't think, to me, it mattered whether or not, because I don't think he ever would have taken, because creatively he has a lot of control over what he's able to do. And that's why I think he's always stayed true to his game. And I don't think he ever would have taken a major label deal, because you know what, major labels, there comes certain things. We need you to do this type of music. We need this type of song. And knowing what I know about Scarface, he gonna tell you, go fuck yourself. Like, I ain't doing no shit like that, man. I'm gonna do this shit. This is my shit. You know?
Good point. Good point. So basically, because you saying had that wouldn't have worked because the real Face wasn't going to.
It wouldn't be fake. It wouldn't be Scarface, man. It would not be Brother Mob.
All right.
It wouldn't be Brother Mob, bro.
Enough said. So that's all I got. All I got. Number 14.
14. Ladies love Cool James.
Woo! Man, come on. The lip licking, cool Kango wearing. Come on, talk to me.
What I wrote down.
What you wrote down?
He was rap's first commercially successful megastar. Solo. The first solo commercially successful megastar. There were other solo rap stars that came out before LL Cool J did. Hell, Curtis Blow had been doing stuff as early as 1980, right? 81. But when LL Cool J jumped on the scene with radio in the mid 80s, and everybody remembers that scene from Crush Groove when he killed it, he really made a way for teenagers to get accepted into serious rap circles during that time because he was bad. He was serious. You knew he was serious and about his game. 3 out of his first 4 albums are either classic, groundbreaking, or essential, or all 3 put together. You talk about Radio, Bigger and Deffer, aka Bad. Mama Said Knock You Out. You know? Then you got other albums that are still, you know, solid to good. Walking with a Panther. Bring it into the 90s when he had a little bit of a comeback, Mr. Smith. You know? He had his time. And what it did is he also gave legs. Again, didn't invent it. He gave legs to Loverboy and Smooth Fellow Rap. He had the name for a reason, LL Cool J, man. I mean, he gave legs to that whole Loverboy and Smooth Fellow Rap thing, man, before anybody else did. And he made it popular because the whole package of everything he had together. It was the lyrics, the presence, the looks, everything that he had together, and he made it work. He maintained commercial viability runs into the 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, and had success with the charts well into the 2000s. And lest we forget that Uncle L is definitely still recognized as one of the best battle rappers of all time. Still, to this day. So having that legacy, right? We're talking about 1985, I believe it is, when Radio came out. Again, we're talking about 40 years here of being around. Now, he hasn't made music as proficiently in the last 20 some odd years or so, give or take. True. But I mean, when you've done it for 20 years at that point in time and has been as big as he was, you know, really setting the standard for solo rap superstars during that time, what else really do you need to do? He's done his thing entertainment wise, but he really did lay the blueprint for the solo rap superstar. I mean, really becoming a big, big hit commercially. And then also at the same time, also being respected by some of the best in the game for his lyrical prowess and flow as well. That's his legacy. That's why he's on my top 20.
I can't, because there's nothing to take away from it. There's nothing to say about Cool James, man. I love L. My question is this to you. Do you think because he gets forgotten in that GOAT conversation, which I don't know how he does, do you think it's B.Cox because of the fact that he hasn't made, we live in a what have you done now for me type of society, and unless you're a true hip-hop historian, or you're old enough to really know how top shelf LL fucking Cool J is, do you think because had he made some more music recently, he would be even maybe have a chance to get even higher on your list, or that's about as high as he could go as 15?
Oh yeah, and let's not doubt ourselves. There was a clip that came out maybe a year, 2 years ago where he freestyled on the radio. And I don't know whether it was a true freestyle. He rapped. He still has the ability to go. At almost now, what is it? Almost close to 60 years old now?
He pushing 60, dog.
Motherfucker pushing 60, by the way. He don't even look like he's 50 yet. So let's not even go there. Like, I mean, for real. Like, no Diddy on that, but for real. I mean, look, give you the props for the props, dude. The brother still looks great for his age.
Looks great for his fucking age.
You know, he can still go, man.
Okay.
And when you a master of your craft like that, bro, you don't never really lose the ability to be able to do that, man. Okay. And so I think if he could have had the right production and stuck to what it is that he knew, I definitely think he could have gained a lot more props if he would have done music a little bit more later on, man. But his body of work before then can't be disputed, man. It definitely cannot be disputed at all.
All right. Well said, B.Cox, as always. I'm excited about the next one.
13.
Woo!
None other than Aubrey himself, Drake.
You got to put Drake. You can't leave him out.
So when we talked about runs, right? I struggled to put him in this, but I got to give props where props is due. So what I wrote down here, in probably the top 5 of most commercially successful artists, not just hip hop, but he may go down one of the top 5 most successfully artists in all of pop culture, you know, at some point in time.
I agree.
his early work, a lot of it gets praised for his authenticity. And that's really what when you talk about the early music, the So Far Gones, the Thank Me Laters, the Take Cares, that's really what stuck out to a lot of people, is that it seemed authentic and genuine to him, for the most part. And he had his detractors as well, and he still does as well, obviously for obvious reasons.
Right.
His later work is praised because because of its viral content and how commercially successful it's been. I haven't been a fan of a lot of his later albums, but I mean, I have to say, when he puts the album out and he goes with the set of singles, those singles drop, they hit, and they hit like nothing else. And it's not just big, it's phenomenally big and pop culture big. Drake gets played on the hip hop stations and the pop white people stations as well. And what does that mean? That means money. Then when he has a tour, he sells out a tour wherever he goes. Now pre-2024, this is what you're saying. And you can still say it now, but that's what you're saying about Drake. The reason why he's so high on this is because commercially, he's been at a level that few, if nobody else, has been at before, right?
Yes, sir.
And what he has done in this era, starting from So Far Gone all the way up now to this current age, has helped to create another stratosphere in regards to success of how your pop culture queue has been able to rise. And what he's put on the radio as far as hits has become, the artists that he's worked with, the hits that he's had on the Billboard charts, the albums that have gone crazy. It's just, you have to give him his due for that.
Yes, sir.
Now, the knock on Drake is the obvious knock that many of us will have on Drake.
Yeah.
The ghostwriting allegations, the fact that his music after a while has seemed to become a little bit formulaic as well. The fact that his later work to me has not hit as hard to me as some of his late early career to mid career work. The Take Cares, the Views, the Nothing Was Ever the Same, If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Those are things that I really mark as some of his best work. And I don't think you see that in the later albums. Now, those later albums have all the commercial success in the world. And that's really what gets him up there, because again, commercially, he's in a stratosphere above so many people. And because of that, I have to give him his due, because commercially, there's maybe one or two artists on here that are probably bigger than him. That's it. I have to be, I got to keep it a buck with that. I do. So, last thing I said is that he will go down. Numbers don't lie. Major success, crossing over into pop culture, and he will go down as one of the best-selling artists of this generation, of any genre.
B.Cox, it took me a while to warm up to Drake, because I thought he was a gimmicky rapper at first. I did. I just thought he was a gimmicky rapper. I didn't know how to place him at first, but I thought B.Cox is interesting. The guy that you mentioned before is really the progenitor of that style of caressing and finessing the ladies. And if nothing else Drake ass can do, he can finesse.
Oh yeah,
and get in them fucking ladies and get them excited. They love his ass.
Oh yeah,
they love his ass. And I think that's so apropos that LL walked so he could run and be able to have that space where you can sing to women and turn around and say some hardcore shit on the fucking track. So
yeah,
commercially, B.Cox, he could be. I have to agree with you, bro. Top 3 all time. I mean, he's in that. You're talking about that rarefied air.
Yeah.
Mike Jackson's
being a megastar. Yeah.
He's a megastar.
Megastar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing that I could add to this. 2012, my boss who I was working at the time got some sweet tickets for us at the Verizon Center to go see the Club Paradise tour, right? Okay. It's Drake's tour. Okay. So on this tour, he has French Montana opening up, followed by Waka Flocka,
okay,
followed by 2 Chainz. The sub or co-headlining act at that time was J. Cole, and then Drake ending the night. It was a phenomenal concert throughout the entire night. But this was right there in Drake's Take Care era, right? And if we're talking about for me as a peak that balanced the act between commercial viability and artistic, like sort of expression, that to me is what the perfect balance of it was during that time. I felt like he sort of touched it and got it both from both sides during that period. At that point, I did have a lot of respect for Drake because I understood what it was that he was doing. And I thought that if he stayed in that lane, that he could carve out a nice little career from him. He wouldn't be in no best MCs list, but he would be definitely in your top entertainers list no matter what.
All right, B.Cox, I nothing else to say about Drake, Taz. Respect Drake.
Yeah.
All
Number
right.
12.
Number 12.
None other than Weezy F Baby.
Oh.
And the episode phenomenal. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Talk to me about Lil Weezy.
I've had many discussions and debates over Lil Wayne over the years. I even got the discussion of people try to tell me, one, who was the better MC, Wayne or Biggie? These are young folks, by the way, who were debating me about this, in case you're wondering.
Had to be. Like, who's
then I had other people who told me who was more goated or had better legacy, Wayne or Tupac. Again, young people who were asking me about this, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
But I'm gonna give Wayne his props now, right? What I wrote down about Wayne. Prodigy, who found success outside of his Hot Boys era and outside of the initial Cash Money era. He took off with his Carter series and then became legendary with his freestyles and a mixtape series, which to me is still unmatched and can only probably be matched by only a few people ever in hip hop history. Let's be real. No ceilings. I mean, come on, man. Like, yo, we talk about the legendary mixtape run that Lil Wayne had in those mid 2000s. His style gave birth, truly. We talked about Future early, him, who he influenced. You want to talk about an influence on a generation of rappers? Wayne's style gave birth to a whole subset of rappers that either directly or indirectly copied his style and tried to be just like him. And none of them did it as well. Not even y'all boy Thugger, who a lot of people talk about, you know, who they love. So many people tried to copy directly and indirectly Wayne's style, and they couldn't do it as well. His movement gave birth to those people who will become superstars, and so many of them are superstars today. But none of them could do it to his level, to him at his peak. 2004 to 2011, 12 Wayne. You want to talk about rarefied air as an artist in regards to what you're able to do? You know, the clever flow, the punchlines, freestyles, mixtapes. That's rarefied air right there. He gave birth to multiple superstars afterwards who came up under his tutelage. Because of him is the reason why we have Drake. Because we have Nicki.
Okay.
That's why. He gave birth to two of the biggest rap stars from the 2010s on, and those two was right there, right directly under his tutelage and right underneath his influence. Now, these later years, we haven't seen a whole lot about Wayne. Wayne's been in the news for a lot of bad reasons, politically and other things that he said, statements that he's made. But Wayne at his peak, from when he broke off to being a solo artist, from the Carter series all the way up till about 20 to the Carter 3, even now with people that have said about the Carter 4 and 5. I mean, it's been legendary, man. He really did have a peak and an era and a run that really is unmatched in regards to his output, to its success. I mean, the Carter 3 blew up and sold over 1 million in a week. I mean, people also debate about what their favorite one of at least of those first 3 albums, especially the Carter 2 and the Carter 3. But you want to talk about a run? Wayne had a run. And it's something that even myself, I tried to fight it for the longest while, and I had to give the boy his props and let him know, like, that run from that 04, that run from the start of the Carter all the way up now to like about 2011, 2012 is damn near unmatched in regards to the mixture, commercial, output, legacy, influence, lyrical, all those things put together. Yeah. Got to give him his props on that. You have to.
It's nothing else to, because Wayne is one of those artists, man. I have never seen somebody that prolific, that proficient, and in that era, that profound.
Yeah.
Simultaneously working that shit all together.
Yeah.
To normally, when you jump on them many features, your output is that high. You putting out some ass music. This shit is gonna be some. I can't in that run, B.Cox, you just timestamp the earmark that era. Find me a whack Wayne verse. Find me a whack Wayne verse. Find me one.
You might have some questionable lines, but
you got some people like what?
like what the fuck this nigga just say? But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. We want to talk about influence, man. Yeah.
Well said, B.Cox. We heating up. We getting close to that top 10. I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah. Number 11.
Ooh, shit.
Snoop D-O G.
Oh, the dog. Okay. All right. The dog made it. He got it to 11. I gotta hear this shit.
Yeah. Debut album became a culture shifter, without a doubt.
Oh God.
We talked ad nauseum about Doggy Style on one of our earlier chats, man.
Yeah, me and you, yes, sir.
I mean, pop culture wise, I mean, he gave us so many terms that now became right in the middle of pop culture. You know, B.I.T., Shiznit, you know, I mean, all this type 187 in the dick of your mouth, like all types of, you know, all those things that he came out with, man. Really known for his consistency and staying true to who he was and who he is. He had success, and a lot of people kind of glaze over this. He had success with 3 different outfits under 3 different sets of super producers. First with Dre, then with Death Row.
Yep.
Then with No Limit, Beats by the Pound, and whoever was producing with them. And then later on had success with Pharrell and Neptunes later on in his career as he got into the 2000s. And he had chart success throughout all of them. He continued the success well into the 2000s, all the way up until the 2010s. And during that time of these now 30 some odd years that he's been involved in the culture ever since he hit us with Deep Cover, his feature on that, he's become a hip hop and pop culture icon that is still relevant today. And now, years later, we're still talking about Doggy Style being one of the best debut albums that has come out. And it really, we talk about, shifted the culture. Doggy Style shifted the culture. It truly did. It truly did. And that's really the only thing I can say about that. I mean, his career from what he's done before then and his personality and everything has led him to what we see him now as today, is basically being an ambassador for everything. And we see Snoop at the Olympics, having cook shows with Martha Stewart, the movies, the TV shows, everything that he's done now, man, all started basically because of his run in music first and foremost.
B.Cox, he's another, we talked about, and this is a romantic notion of mine. What if the Death Row had imploded? And I fantasize, because to this day, and I say this, I'll give a damn what nobody say. In my estimation, in my opinion, ain't nobody can cook a Drake beat better than Snoop. I don't care what nobody say. Now, I'm gonna sound good on Drake beats. B.Cox, you will sound good. A lot of people have sound good, but no fucking body sounds better on a Drake beat than Snoop. And so for me, I fantasize to this day on what would have happened. And no had all the stupid shit with Death Row and the implosion within and all other stuff. Had they been able to have a continuum of making music together, I believe Snoop would probably be in the top 5 of all time, man. Because yes, the No Limit years, it was some hits. The Pharrell, year, he had some hits. I mean, he had some stuff, but there was nothing like Death Row Snoop. There was nothing like that damn Doggy Style. There was nothing like him on dancing on a Dre beat, and that's all I can say about that, B.Cox.
Absolutely.
You got anything to add about that, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Snoop on a Dre beat. Yeah.
To this day.
Chef's kiss every time. Just about. Every time. Yeah, man. Yeah. So now we into the top 10.
Top 10.
Number 10. Wu-Tang.
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
And this is them as a collective. This is a bit of it was a choice for me, but I know their Wu-Tang is more of a bit of a collective because they're a super group, really. I mean, they really are. But what I wrote about Wu-Tang, they talk about culture shifters. They really did shift the culture as well, especially with that debut album. Debut album changed the game. That 36 Chambers, man. I mean, you want to talk about a subculture within a culture? They created their own subculture as well. Second album, very successful.
Okay.
And then really the biggest thing to me, while their group output after the second album wasn't as prolific as the first two albums, the individual members of the group to really are what sets this apart and breaks it into the top 10. You want to talk about the career that you see of what happened with Method Man and Raekwon, Ghostface Killer, what would have Jizza as well. Then to see individual successes by Capadonna, what would have become if you had stuff with Inspector Deck. I mean, these are all things that we talk about of people who had albums that are solid to dope to damn near classic. And in the cases of Raekwon and Ghostface, classics. Okay. And all behind, for the most part, the tutelage and the production underneath the work of Bobby Digital himself, the Abbott, the RZA himself. You know, we want to talk about what Wu-Tang has meant to the culture. It's a group after now that just had their last, they said this their last tour that they just had last year or whatever it was that happened. They were selling out arenas all over the world for 30 years. And everywhere they went, people knew their songs. Everywhere they went, people had Wu wear and the flags, throwing up the W's, wherever the hell you went. They became a culture, bro. Wu-Tang was a culture after that debut album. 30 years after their debut album, you're looking at it now and there's still a force. And there's still something now that we talk about people have strong opinions about. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. Yes, from all of them. Even now with Old Dirty Bastard, may he rest in peace. The impact that he's had and that he had on people of him as an artist, just as an outlandish celebrity, but then also being able to get down on the mic whenever he needed to, man. It's just Wu-Tang definitely was a culture within itself. The group together, great within those first couple of albums, but the individual parts afterwards, repping Wu-Tang wherever they went afterwards, becoming standard bearers of that W flag and that emblem that you see that is recognizable as any other emblem that you see in hip-hop. You see that and you know it's the Wu. You know it's the Wu.
B.Cox, and we talked about the Wu. We did a great piece on the Wu. You actually went and broke down the whole groove. You talked about, you know what I'm saying, all of the master penmanship. You talked about the RZA ad nauseum. That's also guys in the collection as well, me and B.Cox. I'm not gonna have him go through that because we already did that. I'll just say this, man. Had ODB lived, that's another thing. I think, and you and me said this, that was the heart, that was the soul of the group. And I think people, we can't quantify the impact of what he meant to that group because they all said he was that guy no matter what. Fuck that, it's Wu, and we're gonna make it. He was the heartbeat of that group. And had he lived, I just believe, man, they would have even had an even greater run, to even been even higher on your top 10 list.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's all I got. Number 9.
Number 9.
Wow.
I have none other than the 18th letter. The only microphone God MC, Rakim himself.
Man, come on, man. Talk about it, B.Cox.
This is what I have with Rakim, and most of this is with his work with Eric B, but also including his solo work he did in the 90s as well. The originator of flows, the original God MC, the microphone God, changed the way that people rapped forever, and how people looked at how rappers rapped forever. Let me say that again. changed the way that people rapped forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And how people looked at how people rapped forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First 3 albums with Eric B are classics.
Yes, sir.
1987, Played in Full. 1988, Follow the Leader. 1990, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. Classics. First 2, Follow the Leader and Paid in Full, are universally accepted in consideration for some of the best hip-hop albums of all time, all based on the pen and the work of Rakim under the tutelage of Eric B, overseeing production. Came back after a hiatus, almost after 6 years of not putting out any music, and picked up like he had never even left off. Picked up and started rapping better than 95% of the people better in the game currently than at the moment. Dropping the 18th Letter and then later on The Master in 1999. Still showed lyrical prowess. He is respected by many in the game and is recognized as an influence for many who people consider the best lyricist of all time. As a direct influence to people that we consider the best lyricist of all time.
You already know that, B.Cox.
And how did this solidify this? A couple of years ago at the Grammy, Jay's walking around. He's backstage. All of a sudden, Jay loses his shit. He's like, oh, look at the God, look at the God. Who is he talking to? It's Rakim. Rakim comes into the camera view. They dap each other up. Jay says, thank you, brother. Thank you for the roads that you paved, brother. Thank you for the roads that you paved. Now, this is Jay-Z giving props to someone. By the way, a lot of people don't know this, is that Rakim and Jay are about the same age.
Damn, I didn't know that.
This is Jay, who many people consider to be the GOAT, right? Stopping and giving props to a man for paving ways for him. Thank you for the roads that you paved, brother. Thank you for the roads that you paved. That's the impact of Rakim. Not nearly as long as a run when we talk about as far as length of career in regards to him being in the spotlight and putting out music. But his lyrical prolific output, his legacy and influence is unmatched by anyone. This is, you want to talk about the Jays, the Nas's, the Rakim, the Jays, the Nas's, the Raekwons, the Method Mans, the Bigs, those people we consider to be the best of all time. They point to him. Him, G-Rap, Big Daddy Kane. Those are the names they talk about all the time. But he's the name that's mentioned more than anybody else. That's legacy. That's impact. That is how you make your mark as a god into this game.
Because you already, and I know we're gonna get to him, but you know, when I think Rakim, to me, the direct descendant is Nas.
Of course.
And when I think, and you and me, we talked about a bit, we've done a bit of, and we're gonna get to our man Nas. Let me ask you this, B.Cox. Do you think, this is all, again, me and you playing perfect world, but I'm bouncing it off you. Was Rakim so far ahead of his time that if he was around when he's around, but had he made that type more music when the commercial boomed, do you think Rakim would be even higher on that list? Because when Rakim was giving out some of his greatest shit, we were still young.
Yeah.
Hip hop was young. It wasn't as commercially viable as it is when Jay came along and Nas came along and those other guys. Do you think that he was so far ahead of his fucking time? Because you can still unpack his lyrics today and be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Go ahead now. Go ahead, B.Cox.
It's possible. I would say this. As far as when it comes to Rakim being so far ahead of his time, like I said, he changed the way that people rapped forever, right?
Yes, sir.
You look at the way that how people rapped up until 1987 before Rakim came out. A lot of different styles, a lot of different ways. Afterwards, people heard Paid in Full was like, damn, you know what? I got to get back in the lab. My pen got to step up because what the fuck? And he was still a teenager at that time as well, by the way, when he came out with Paid in Full. Him and Eric B. He was so far ahead of himself that people had to change the way that they rapped. So far ahead of himself that some of our favorite rappers who are our favorites of all time,
yes, sir,
changed the way that they looked at rap and how they rapped. They might have been different. They might have rapped different. Nas might not be Nas. Jay-Z might not be Jay-Z. He changed it, man. I don't know if he would have gotten as big. Because one thing that was a knock about Rakim was obviously he also had a bit of that monotone voice, very even voice as well. But shit, back in the day, Rakim was fly, man. He had on the baseball caps, the gold chains, and everything. Like he was fly.
Yeah.
He was dapper down. So if you translate that into the early to mid 90s, yeah, I mean he could have been up there. And he adapted because his style adapted later on in the 90s when he released the 18th Letter and the Master. It wasn't the 1980 style. It wasn't in the early 1990s Rakim, but it was still lyrically proficient. It was like it had graduated and moved up another degree.
Agree.
It went from summa cum laude bachelor to summa cum laude masters heading to doctorate level by that time.
I'm so glad you gave the God MC his props, B.Cox.
Had to, man. Had to. If you're talking about your top five, if you're in your top five, I can't take you seriously, man. I cannot.
Oh my God. All right, B.Cox. Hey, y'all, are y'all not enjoying this fucking masterclass B.Cox is giving y'all, man? Are we not happy to have this fucking national treasure back? I told him backstage, I said he's special. If y'all love B.Cox, man, show the love in the comments, man, because this man don't even know how brilliant he is sometimes, man. We just so fucking happy to have him back, man. Go ahead, B.Cox. Keep cooking, man.
Yeah, man, cooking, I appreciate that, bro. I really do, man. I love doing it, man. I do.
And we love you doing it and keep doing it here.
Yeah. At number 8, I have none other than O'Shea Jackson himself, Senior. Ice Cube.
Oh, shit. Let's get into it. So
this is why Ice Cube's in my top 10. And honestly, I'm kind of banging myself on the head because he should be a little bit higher, but I got him settled at 8 for a reason.
Okay.
His run from NWA to his solo career was legendary. Prolific pen. One of the most, I would say, forgotten and underrated prolific pen as times has gone on, but in the day, Ice Cube was a bad boy with that pen. Just ask, rest his peace, make it ask Eazy-E.
You better say it.
NWA straight out of Compton, leaving the group right after they had a smash debut album and then smash world tour, just going out on his own, and debut and sophomore album universally recognized as classics and classics on the West Coast forever. America's Most Wanted in 1990 and Death Certificate in 1991 to also then pop up with Kill It Will in between those two as an EP. I mean, you want to talk about groundbreaking and culturally significant, those two albums definitely are, especially America's Most Wanted, because not just of the gangster content as well, but the political commentary. And that's the way the Cube has always been, very politically and socially conscious during his time. He really was. And that we recognize that now the 30 plus years it's been gone. The third album in The Predator, Praise, is an essential type album that gave us lots of hits. He maintained his visibility, his viability, and his success with later albums, both as a solo artist into the late 90s, but then also with the West Side connection with Dub C and Mac 10, dropping albums there as well. In everybody's top 3 of best West Coast MCs all time, he has to be there. No matter what, he has to be there. I would even argue he has to be in probably your top 2, if you ask me, really. But an unmatched pen in what he did in the early 90s. We're talking about him going from the production of Dre and Yella to coming up to his debut album, going to the East Coast of New York, and then working with the Bomb Squad. I mean, it's crazy how dope America's Most Wanted was. And then for him to drop right after that Death Certificate. I mean, you want to talk about back-to-back albums to start your career? That's a hell of a way to start it and to set expectations for yourself, man. But he maintained that. Had a dope album with The Predator. Even had some people would say a dope and solid album with Lethal Injection afterwards. Then he starts to take a little bit of a break. Starts to do movies. Does the television shows. And then he comes back, drops War and Peace, drops with the West Side Connection, their debut album. He continues to stay viable throughout the late 90s and continued that heading into the new millennium. You want to talk about a run as prolific as that one, from that Straight Outta Compton into those first 2 albums. About Cube was about as good as anybody was in the game and was universally recognized as respected as one of the best MCs in the game, and really started to give rise to those West Coast artists out there. And as a solo act away from NWA, continuing to have that success, really became a staple. He's a staple in West Coast hip hop culture. He's a staple in hip hop culture, period. But in West Coast hip hop culture, he's an icon and a god. He's an icon and a god. To me, he's got to be, like I said, in everybody's top 2 or 3 best West Coast MCs all the time.
B.Cox, let me ask you this, man. We talked about Cube as well. He did a masterful piece on Cube. What do you think? Because here's why Cube is so endeared to me. Cube took me from my preteen years, that AWA shit, all the way through fucking high school.
Yeah.
Cube was the voice, man.
Yeah.
I watched the evolution and growth. Because do you think that had Cube not, and I don't want to say distracted, because hey man, he's artistic, and he went on and started gave us an amazing cultural classic Friday, which we talked about. That's me and B.Cox talked about, another amazing movie.
Yeah.
Do you think had Cube stayed focused on the pen, he would have been even higher on your list?
It's probably, but again, I liken him a little bit to someone I had earlier on my list, and that was 50 Cent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same, similar. Only thing is different is that 50 didn't start out in a group, but they had just dynamite starts to their career. The difference is, to me, is that Cube's high watermark on his first 2 albums were bigger than 50 on his first 2 albums, and his level was incredibly high during that time. Not only that, he then, after those 2 albums, then started to continue to put out music that remained at a high level. Then he went to movies and music, but then afterwards he still came back to music, and that music still hit. West Side Connection still hit. War and Peace still hit. It still hit. So you think about, and then when you think about just that very compact run from Straight Outta Compton into America's Most, Kill It Will, and then Death Certificate, I mean, my gosh, like how do you that's a run for the ages right there, like they say, man. It's a run for the ages.
Okay. I have nothing else to say, man, about Cube. You ain't gonna push back on Cube, because carry on, sir. You cooking. Keep cooking your fucking meal, sir.
Yeah, man. I just, that's what we do here, man. We cook up good stuff. I'm just getting my light squared away, man. My other light just died on me. Always have a backup, boys and girls. That's what you do.
That's what.
Let's see. So at number 7, and I got to correct my top 20 because I had a mistake.
Okay.
At number 7, I actually also have another tie.
So there's 2 at 7.
There's 2 ties.
Shit, this is okay. We haven't had a tie since 20.
My tie at 7 is with Slim Shady himself, Eminem.
Yeah.
And Mr. West himself, Kanye West.
Okay, because I was going. That was going to be a question for you after 20, because I was like, wait a minute, B.Cox, we missing somebody. But you, all right. Let's go.
I got him at the tie, and I got him at the tie. Similar reasons, like I have them at ties for
T.I. and Luda.
For T.I. and Luda. So I'll start with Eminem.
Let's go.
Best-selling rap artist of all time. Undisputed. We know that.
Okay.
Style made people look 2 or 3 different times or pay attention to 2 or 3 different times when he first dropped with that Slim Shady LP. I mean, just really crazy, outrageous stuff that he said, the punchlines, the lyrical wordplay, just out of this world. Really something I wouldn't say that we'd never heard before, but the delivery was something that also made us listen as well. His voice made us listen as well. Considered one of the most clever and witty lyricists of all time, bar none. You cannot take that away from him.
No, sir.
First 3 albums recognized for the most part as classics, and the third album is the best-selling rap album of all time in the Eminem Show. Along with Slim Shady LP and the Eminem Show, which I mentioned, the second album, which doesn't get mentioned enough, the Marshall Mathers LP, is seen by many people as his best. And that was a smash album that had many different hits that came out of it as well. He has had tons of commercial success over the years. Has been an influence very quietly on a number of different rappers that followed after him that tried to copy his act as well, but none of them did it as well either.
Okay.
He's respected by many in the game for what he's accomplished commercially and lyrically, what he's done, 1 with his wordplay, but then 2 with him also switching up styles as well throughout his career, being able to rap as he did in the beginning and now rapped as fast as he did later on in his career as well.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's what he's done. I mean, that cannot be disputed at all.
Yes, sir.
He's also helped to create a subgenre in the as well. I mean, the fact that he was a bit of, in some people's words, a clown prince, you could say. He was, and in some cases, kind of like a little bit of a troll within his lyrics. But then somebody as well, when it came to battling, could definitely get down as well. We all know this. I mean, that's how he made his name. He won. He came in second in the rap Olympics, and that's how Dre helped to find him. That and the demo tape that Dre got. Commercially, he's just been unmatched. Nobody has matched him rap wise as far as when we talk about rap albums. He has sold more records than anybody else. Now, a lot of people will argue this because he's white, but can't nobody dispute the fact that Marshall gets down, man. And at his peak.
Come on.
It wasn't a whole lot of many people better that you could say that was better than him, man. I mean,
talk it, B.Cox.
I mean, that's just where we're at. Lyrically, I mean, obviously, he's done some things. He's helped to help like basically to create that subgenre. Culturally, he stepped into the time basically when hip hop needed some differentiation, and he gave it. And that's why Marshall's so big, man. Why he's not higher is because his output hasn't been as big over the last decade or so. I mean, he had relapsed and then recovery, and then it's sort of like his music kind of fell off after that. But then I think after a while, when you've done what he's done and done it for so long, do you really need to keep doing it? Probably not. He's probably going to make enough money from what he's done before, from residuals and everything else, from 50 and everything else, that he doesn't have to work anymore. And guess what? His great-great-grandchildren, if they don't waste the money, don't probably have to work anymore, bro. Well, so that's Eminem. And he's pretty high because the commercial success vaults him over so many people on this. And he did it at a high lyrical level for quite a while before, I don't want to say a drop-off, but he changed his style up, and some people may have not felt it as much.
Okay.
Now on to Kanye.
Yay. Shot time.
Kanye. The start and the beginning and the first half of it was so promising that he was on a trajectory that many people probably wouldn't have touched him. Lyrically, not a beast, but very clever. Obviously, as well, the ghostwriting thing is out there. But you want to talk about what he dropped consecutively, as I call it, the Dropout series, College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, in a row. Then you follow that up with something like 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yes, sir.
Like, everybody, we give props to T-Pain and the auto-tune thing. Yes, but man, did Kanye take that and blow it out of the water to the point where it became a cultural staple after 808s and Heartbreaks?
Yes, sir.
It really did. And then what does he do in following up 808s and Heartbreaks? He drops My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I mean, you want to talk about some production being out of this world, him proving himself as an artist and being able to be viable, having the chart success that he had on all three of those albums we talked about from the Dropout series, really being that classic underdog story that made it up basically to the upper echelon of the society because of his success, because of who he was, the people that he worked with, the features that he had. From that 04 era all the way up to Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Come on.
Wasn't many people touching Kanye, bro. They wasn't. And that's what, to me, gets him into this list. And it wasn't just that. It was the production he did on so many other different people's works. Okay. The Watch the Throne album he did with Jay-Z. All the other production he's done with other people. The features also that he had as well during his time. I mean, he was astronomical. The reason why he's not higher on my list in regards to the top 20 runs is because that second half of that run has not been great.
True.
It's been mid to average at best. A lot of people will point towards The Life of Pablo. Some people even like Yeezus. But these albums that he's been doing later on, pretty much since he, as I say, lost his mind, is what has prevented him from being probably within my top 5 in regards to runs. But that run from 04 to like 2012, bro was on a heater. And he just kept dropping them and kept dropping them. And he was just couldn't miss at a certain point in time. The only person that stopped Kanye West from being in this top 5 of runs is Kanye West. Lyrically not proficient.
No.
But being able to touch people and make them like you, and also let them have them see you as one of the best in the game based off of the presence that you have, from the production to the song to everything put all together. He was as good as anybody else, man. And that first half, that heater is what gets him in there. Commercial sales, legacy, impact, what he had as a producer, is what he did as an artist, had tons of influence on people afterwards, you know? Songs that he's done now are going to be played for years and years afterwards. Just that second half of it, though, was what has prevented him from getting into that top 5. Because, man, that first half was like Jordan in Game 1 against Portland in the 1992 NBA Finals. Exactly. That's what it was like. That's what it was like.
All right, B.Cox. Let me touch on M, then I'm gonna get to I love that. I love how you gave him 1 and 1A. I love that, man. How you do that. I hope it's just another surprise in there, but you probably didn't got no more ties in there. But I love how you do that, man. Eminem for me, yeah, we want to, you know, culturally sometimes we want to feel that rap is ours, and you know what I'm saying, it's because obviously, and it's one of the few things that we feel that we're the custodian of, and we are. But give credit what credit is due. The man I don't give a damn what color Eminem is. The man can goddamn it out rap. He can rap his ass off.
Exactly.
The thing with Eminem, for me, my commentary on this tie for each one of them. M gave me M gave me one of the greatest. Get off your ass and go get his songs. Lose yourself. I will for always. If you say pick one song, get you some shit and get going, and you got a shot to go do something. That man gave us one song. You better lose yourself.
That he did.
And for him to get on the song, he said, "What, B.Cox?"
I said that he did.
And for him to get on the song, hey man, and Gladiate with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Gladiate with Nas.
Renegade,
Renegade. Hey, I have nothing but respect for Marshall Mathers. I don't give a damn what color he is. The man can rap his ass off. That him on that piece.
Yeah.
Ye is. I couldn't agree with you more. Ye biggest enemy is Ye.
Yeah.
Ye still can do. Wait, Ye still got hits left in him.
Yeah.
If they can ever get out of Ye's way, very few people. No, it's only been 2 people, and they both from my city, Chicago. They have got Sean Carter to want to do a collaborative album.
Yeah.
Only 2 people. Sean Carter don't know how to do collaborative albums with people.
Yep.
He did one with Robert Kelly.
Yep.
You needed another one with Kanye West.
Yep.
And for you to go bar to bar, and I'm sorry, man, to this day, because me and my brother Marquise, we talk about all the time. I'm gonna run this town tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That Jay-Z, Kanye tore ass up on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. That's a verse I still talk about
how
to
you
this
know
day,
for being
man.
so bro, everybody on your no hold.
Yeah.
What you think I rap for? To put your fucking rap?
Oh Lord. Yeah.
With Ye.
She got an ass that'll swallow up a G string with up
and
top 2 B things.
Say that shit. Man, when I'm in church, please no photos.
Right. Hey, yeah.
Ye is, I would say, B.Cox, and this was a top 20. Iconic wise, Ye is a true icon.
Yeah.
Because he's global.
Yeah.
And the man has a cult following. Look at his fucking shoes he put out. And
yeah.
I'm talking about me. I bought every one of the motherfuckers. And some of them shits was ugly as a motherfucking. And because I know you was looking at them shit. I know you laughed about it. You was like, man, I don't know what the fuck people saw. I was that person. I was all in them Yeezys, man. Mm-hmm. And everything Ye touched, Ye touched at that time, turned to gold. And to your point, B.Cox, the only reason he's not higher is because he obviously impedes his own self.
His biggest enemy, man.
Biggest enemy. I don't know. Get him some better medicine. Get him a fuck away from. I get him back around some goddamn soul food and some black women that can cook for his ass or something. Get him back, because that fucking college dropout run, you ain't fucking with Ye.
Yeah,
you ain't. Nobody.
Yeah,
touch him, man.
And let's not forget, during this period, the good music run that he had, he brought Common back.
He did bring.
He gave us John Legend.
B.Cox, did we say he kept Pusha relevant now? Don't forget.
Yeah. So I mean, that's included in this run that we talk about, bro. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful, B.Cox. Beautiful, perfect selection. All right, brother. We're getting closer. We're at 6 now, I believe.
Number 6, I got the 2 dope boys in the Cadillac, OutKast.
Oh my God.
And now a lot of people will say, man, B, you got OutKast ahead of Eminem and Kanye and Ice Cube and Wayne and Drake and everything.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
Talk to him, B.Cox.
I have them ahead of them. If not for OutKast, where would Atlanta hip hop be today? If not for OutKast, where commercially would Southern hip hop be today? That's what I have to say. They are responsible for putting Atlanta hip hop directly on the map and opening the door to the rest of the South to have widespread commercial success. I want to say that. Widespread commercial success.
Yes, sir.
First 3 albums recognized as classics. Southern Players to Cadillac Music, one of the best debut albums, hip hop albums of all time. Groundbreaking. What Organized Noise did, putting that together with them boys, man, crafting that in the dungeon and then going in the studio and dropping a banger. Well, after everybody listened to it for the first time.
Yes, sir.
Dee Dee Hibbler said, after they listened to it for the first time, all together, sequenced together, nobody in the room could speak for 2 minutes after it finished playing. OutKast, AT-Aliens, they came back, switched up the style, matured, had a whole nother sound coming against them, took the aesthetic from 2 basically down south boys or whatever telling you about life in Atlanta to taking it to outer space. And then with Aquemini, artistically as beautiful a hip-hop album as we have seen in the last 30 years. Perfectly crafted. And then after that, they dropped Stankonia 2 years later, dropping bangers on us with that album. Only to then, for the most part, then drop an album where they basically 2 solo albums and they have a double disc with Speaker Box and The Love Below. Speaker Box and The Love Below, which became their diamond album and then netted them so many Grammy Awards, including the Album of the Year, which is a coveted album.
Yes, sir.
A Grammy that not many hip hop people are in consideration for, and they got it and they did
Yes,
it.
sir.
Now, eventually, I don't really even count Out a While, to be quite honest. I mean, it's an album, it's on their discography, but to me, they had that run starting in 1993, all the way up, all the way out to even to 2006. And they put on for their city, they put on for a region, and they opened the door for so many other people afterwards to have that widespread success. When Dre got up on that stage on the Source Awards in 1995
What do you say,
and
B.Cox?
told that crowd in New York that was booing them because they would say, why are these Bama ass Southern niggas winning best new artist when you could have given to this person and that person? And when Dre stepped up to the mic and said, all these record producers not want to hear our demo, not want to say something, all I got to say is that the South got something to say. And history was made. They showed people that you could have adept music that could be smart, entertaining, funny, and also lyrically proficient over dope ass soul music that wasn't even samples, that was original production. And they continue that formula over the better part of 10 to 12 years. And again, we want to talk about the only knock against them not being higher on this list.
Talk to me.
Is them not wanting to make more music with each other. That's what's that. His worst enemy, they are their worst enemy as well. Let me put it that way. Dre's their worst enemy because that nigga didn't want to make music no more, though.
That perplexes me. But go ahead.
Well, he didn't want to make rap music anymore. Big Boy continued to make rap music, and he was great at it, right? But the two of them together were magic, bro. And even them teaching themselves how to produce and producing their later albums, which was great. To me, you want to talk about nobody could do anything better than with Snoop over a Dre beat. There was nothing like OutKast over Organized Noise production, bro. Nothing like it.
Rico Wade.
Hey, Rico Wade, rest in peace, man.
Wow.
So, OutKast, why are they so high? Because they've put together the commercial performance. They have the fan base. They've sold the records. They have the consistency. They did it for a long period of time. And their legacy and cultural impact is unmatched from regards to where they are from and who they did it for. And to me, that's why I say you got to put them in your top 5 of best rap groups of all time, because ain't nobody messing with that hardly. For as long as they did, as well as they did it for, at the level of which they did it at.
Whew. B.Cox, we broke down OutKast again, guys. Go check that out. B.Cox did a beautiful. He goes even deeper. B.Cox, Cast is special to me because, as I told you, Q took me from my adolescent years through my high school. Cast caught me around my junior year. I want to say it took me on into my mid-20s, man, and that run. And so I used to drive around Chicago, man, in my grandmama's Nissan Maxima. Me and my homeboy bumping the fuck out of Southern place, Cadillac funky music. Sir, I didn't give a damn who didn't like it. That players ball to this fucking day. Don't nothing knock like that. All the players, all the hustlers.
Yeah.
I'm talking about black man, B.Cox.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Hey, Dre is one of them. Yeah. All right, man. B.Cox, get on. Because I get mad just thinking about. Now, we talk about leaving something desired.
Yeah.
You talk about me talking about more meat on the bone.
Yeah.
The fact that this nigga want to play a fucking flute and don't think we want to hear him rap.
Breaks my heart. Exactly. Breaks my heart too, bro. Breaks my heart too.
Breaks my fucking heart, man. Go ahead, B.Cox. I don't even want to go down that rabbit trail, mess up the game.
Yeah. Top 5.
Woo! We made it.
And at 5, I have Tupac.
Oh! Amaru Shakur. Yeah. Talk to me about the great Tupac Shakur.
Man, what else hasn't been said, man? The man's been dead 30 years this year, and we still talking about him.
And gonna keep talking about him too.
Been gone for 30 years, and we still blasting his music, and his music still resonates with us today. From when he jumped on the scene until when he died was only about, as a solo artist, was only about 5 years, man. There weren't many people. There were not many people that had as impactful as a run as him in a very short period of time, and had their legacy last as long as Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Oh my God.
You want to talk about the depth and the dexterity of his lyrics, from the topics he talked about, from the streets to hustling and thugs, to political and social issues, to women, right? To partying, to his enemies, right? To his homies and brothers and sisters in the hood.
Talk to me, B.Cox.
About uplifting people, everything, all of that put together. Then to have to go into jail for a year and a half and then be sprung out on bail and to come out popping as the hottest artist in the game, with Death Row's backing, behind the production of folks like Dre and Daz and the tutelage of DJ Quick, to drop 2 albums in a year and have them both go number one, right? Only to have to die that same year as his star was still rising. And as he was the biggest rapper in the game during that year, bar none, 96, Tupac was the biggest rapper in the game. There is no revisionist history on that. He was the biggest rapper in the game in 1996. Look it up. Look it up.
Look it up.
And since that time, what we've spent is growing the legend of Tupac through a number of different vignettes, through storytelling, through the stories about and conspiracies about his murder, to his music itself. And what we've had in those 30 plus some odd years that he's had since then is a legacy that's unmatched based on the time amount that he had on this earth, where he was speaking through a mic. And it wasn't just what he was saying, what you know, the songs and everything. It was what he was saying when he wasn't rapping. It was the interviews that he gave and the way you looked at him. Oh, this just ain't no dumbass nigga on the mic. This is a brother who is smart, intelligent, focused, and knows exactly what he's about, you know, and that inspired so many different people. Everybody talks about thug life. Tupac gave legs to thug life, and he let us know that thug life was not just what it was on the surface. It was so many other things beyond that, right? 30 years he's been gone, and we're still talking about him. So he's in my top 5, and like, oh man, you get Tupac, he ain't put out a song, and well, he's put out music since then, music that he recorded. Oh, and by the way, here's another reason why he's unmatched in this respect. The man was so prolific in recording music that he gave us enough music to fill 10 albums afterwards if we was gone, if we wanted to. That's how much of a beast he was in the studio. He wasn't just talk, he backed it up as a workhorse in that damn studio. When he got out of prison, he came out on fire. 10 hours in the studio, recording songs, just getting after it, all in the same while still living the rock star life in the limos, you know, with women, partying, smoking, drinking, all at the same time while he was out there putting in that work on the road, doing tours and everything. We could only imagine what would have happened to Tupac's career afterwards had he been able to live out his dream. And 30 years later, his legacy and everything that you see, the murals around the world, the classes that have been taught at places like Harvard and Yale, the tributes that people have given to him, the fact that we still see fan art of people all over the world of them, the inspiration that he continues to be to people 30 years afterwards. That's why it's unmatched. Yeah, I got him higher than a lot of people that's still out here probably putting out music today, but damn it, Diddy had a line during the Organized Noise documentary, and I'll say this about somebody else on my list who I'm about to go to. Okay. It's not about the amount of work that you've done. It's about the impact of the work that you've done.
Because it ain't nothing else to say after Tupac. Man, the only thing I can say is that the most impactful person that has ever fucking rapped. I don't care what nobody said.
Yeah.
No, he ain't the best lyricist. You about to your top, the remaining 4 are better lyricists by far.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a man that when he talked, you listen and you felt that shit and you still feel that shit. Me and you talked about our last collab. We talked about one of our favorite songs, Pain. To this motherfucking day.
To this day.
To this day.
Yep.
Play Pain. Play Shed So Many Tears.
Yes.
The thing that makes it hard for me with Tupac is that I don't like to play his music because it makes you miss him and you just get mad because you're like, damn, man, why, man? Because you died. Did you have to go do what you did? Did you have to go get in some shit that it just, Pac, because he was so, very few artists, like when he died, the world stopped. Go ahead, because you got something to say, go ahead.
Sway said this in an interview one time after Pac had died. He said that when he was getting ready to interview Pac, and it was right after he had shot California Love, he said that he went to go and they went to go to a trailer and there were people who were running and stuff, security who was making sure stuff was in place. And he said that he knew he had heard about how Pac was or whatever when things that he said he walked inside of Pac's trailer. He said, all I saw was nothing but empty fucking condom wrappers, right? He was like, I was like, oh shit, here we go. He said, Pac walks in there, starts smoking, they sit down and interview. He said, I walked in as a journalist and I came out as a follower. He said that man could influence anybody to anything. It can make you believe whatever it is that you wanted to believe, that you could do anything in your life. That's powerful. Powerful.
Because it's hard to listen to his music because again, for those of us that were there in real time, not like, you know, my kids and the younger generation, they might hear a song and, oh, that's cool. But when you think about, man, just what he meant to us at that time, he gave us hope. He meant, yo, you can rise above, you can do shit. You can. Tupac was the one that made me think, you know what, you can leave Chicago, man. You can rise above this. I mean, then for him to go on and become iconically just as great as an actor.
Yep.
Dare I say, the man really was a fucking movie star, because there's a difference between being an actor and a movie star.
Yeah.
He would have been hip hop's first billionaire a long time ago.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He would have crossed over and got into politics. The man had so much more things to accomplish. And it just, but what you said, B.Cox, after he got out the studio, all those other things derailed his life.
Yeah.
And as brilliant as he was equally, and sometimes, man, a damn fool. And that hurts my heart, man, just because Pac so much. And it was like, bro, how many times did people have to tell you to stop, chill, Pac, stop, chill, Pac, stop, chill. And for him to go out the way he did, and because he hit somebody he shouldn't have hit, a known killer that he didn't even have nothing to do with. It just, as I've gotten older and I'm at close to 50, it just makes me think like, damn, this man should still be on this fucking planet doing good. And so it's a very ambivalent feeling about Pac. I love him, but I just hate how the story ended. Go ahead, B.Cox. That's all I got to say.
All I got to say is, man, if he kept better company, he might still be here.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Amen to that. Amen. Amen to that. Because you couldn't have said it better. Had he kept better company, he would still be alive, man. And I believe that, man. He was too brilliant. He would have figured it out. He would have fucking figured it out. But woo! All right, B.Cox. We coming down to the top 4 now, baby. We get the 4 now.
Number 4. If I gave you Tupac, I have to give you the other side of the coin.
I need it.
Big Papa himself.
Ooh, never software. Never fucking software.
Smalls. Notorious B.I.G.
Oh man. Big
and you can kind of flip-flop Pac and Big for real. I mean, to be quite honest, if you give me one, it's one above the other. I mean, it really doesn't matter, right? I personally put Big above Pac because personally what he meant to me.
All right.
Biggie, just like Pac, 30 years later dead, and we still talking about him. 30 years later, and we still quoting them lines. 30 years later, and that music still rings out, and it's still money, just like it was yesterday. Like 1995 and 96 and 97 was yesterday. Still, very short period of time, like 93 to 97 is all we really got from Biggie. But in that short period of time, he made such a fucking impact. One, based off of his excellence. Two, based off of his presence. And then three, based off of his legacy that eventually he left. We look at Biggie as an artist and as a person, and so many of us see somebody around our way. So many of us see him around as someone around our way. We knew guys like him, right? We grew up around guys like him. Somebody who was immensely smart, and not only that, but then resourceful, funny, relatable in a lot of ways, but then had a talent that nobody else could fuck with, right? And when Biggie got on that mic, he had that rare ability to be able to grab you and to get a hold of you. Man, when he stepped out 93 with Party and Bullshit, he made people feel something.
Talking.
When Ready to Die dropped in 1994, you felt something. The lyrics, the flow, him telling those stories about his hood, you actually feeling like you're actually there. I mean, even just beyond Juicy, which is the ultimate rags to riches story and the celebration of life, but hearing songs like Everyday Struggle and you know, hearing songs like that, hearing songs like Give Me the Loot and Warning, you know, hearing songs like The What, Suicidal Thoughts, stuff that always just stopped and grabbed you.
Yes, sir.
He had that street side to you, Machine Gun Funk. But then he also flipped the coin and he smoothed it out for you and gave you stuff like Big Papa, you know, gave you One More Chance in a remix.
Woo!
He had the ability to sit there and make you either want to go out and rob somebody or sit down and try to sweet talk your lady out of her drawers. And that nigga was big and ugly. Fat and ugly. However, I stayed Coogee down to the socks.
Rings and watch.
I mean, that's the type of things that he did. And so we have all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, he has some feature runs, do some things in between that. He's getting ready for this second album. And this second album drops. And we're like, oh man, I don't know. Ready to Die was pretty damn good. I don't know if we can outdo that. And then he dies before the second album comes out. And then Life After Death drops. And we're all blown the fuck away because we was like, God damn it, he did it again. And the sad part about it, he did it, and he's not going to be able to do it again after this. Right. But man, when Life After Death dropped, man, I was a freshman in high school. And I remember the day that joint dropped, the next day at school, everybody's walking around with headphones on. And the conversations, normally when you see somebody with headphones on, is, hey man, what you listening to? That wasn't the conversation that day. The conversation that day is, yo, what disc are you listening to and what track are you on? Because everybody knew what the fuck we were listening to.
True.
Everybody had fucking Life After Death when that shit dropped. This is 2 weeks after the man got murdered. To have two albums back to back to drop like that, culturally significant to drop with the impact that it had. To stand up for BK, Bed-Stuy, means something so much to New York. King of New York is what he called himself. Frank White, right?
Yes, sir.
Then when he's gone, all of a sudden, that's it. And it's done. And I would say even more so of a fact that Pac getting shot and dying was a shock. Biggie getting shot and dying was, and not that Pac's wasn't heartbreaking, but Biggie's death was heartbreaking, bro. Because we knew he had so much more to give. And he just was on the precipice of giving us yet another classic album. And then just like that, it was gone. So what do we have 30 years since then? We've had multiple people making mixtapes and remixing his songs with lyrics that he did years and years before, from songs that we've heard, features that we've heard. and it still hits you like it does today. I saw somebody make a DJ did a mixtape mixing up and mashing up Frank Sinatra's music with his song, and it was masterful. 30 years afterwards, we're looking at this, and it's huge. His impact mirroring, obviously, and I see your man in the chat, Reddy. He is in there. Shout out to Reddy. He is blowing the chat up, my man. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, I know you want me to reverse the order, bro, but like I said, you can flip a coin on any day, and it could be one order, man. Personally, for me, I just rank Biggie a little bit higher than Tupac, because personally, for me, a kid growing up on the East Coast, growing up so that close to New York, Biggie also being of Caribbean heritage, just like I was, man.
That makes sense.
It resonated with me a little bit more than Pac did in some respects. Now, Pac resonated more in a lot of respects as well, but Biggie, it just kind of hit with me. And lyrically now, we're still seeing people quote his verses, take those verses. I mean, we've seen them try to remake it into their own now, 30-something years afterwards. We're still hearing those songs, and just like Pac, globally, he's become an icon. The murals, the fan art, so many things that we talk about now, from Biggie and from his life into his death, his impact, how many people he influenced afterwards from them listening to him afterwards. There are people that are saying, yeah, he in the GOAT conversation. I don't care if he was only around for a certain amount of times. You mean to tell me you want to listen to what the fuck he put out? You mean to tell me that it was named 5 people better than him? Better than this work?
Well, B.Cox, let me say this about Big, man. Big was the first rapper that I've ever heard paint a picture so perfectly, lyrically. As much as I love Pop, lyrically, couldn't nobody touch Big Papa to this fucking day. This, I quote throughout the day, me and my brother Marquise, we'll find ourselves quote so many Biggie lines. Just, I don't know how I remember this shit. You know, the finest woman I love with a pack. I mean, Big, I mean, me and my bitch. I mean, it's so, I mean, things didn't change. Him getting on a song with Bone and rapping their style. Now, Pop did a great song with Bone too, but Pop was Pop.
Yeah.
Big took their fucking style and destroyed them, dare I say.
Yeah.
All them dangerous. Ain't nobody get back with us.
All these
niggas I got to fight one. All these hoes I got to fuck one. But I'm like,
yeah.
Big. I just think, man, honestly, Big was it's a tough thing, B.Cox, and I understand your allegiance with Big because growing up in the East Coast, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You were geographically a little closer to Pac in Chicago.
Yeah, I get it.
Pac was Midwest. So Pac, by the time Pac was doing his thing, he owned this. It was Pac and Scarface for us.
Yeah, I get it.
But
yeah.
We could not, when that man came with that fucking one more chance, even the fucking hardest Tupac fan was like, God damn it.
Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned lyrically painting the picture. Storytelling, he's one of the best. Storytelling is one of the best 2 rappers of all time to do it, not named Nasir Jones.
Come on.
You talked about things done changed, warning, suicidal thoughts, friend of mine's, me and my bitch. Then on the second album, he opens up the album with Somebody's Got to Die. I got a story to tell. Niggas Bleed to me is still one of the best storytelling. You want to talk about cinema on paper? Styles P sat down with Matt Hoffa, right? And he was talking about Biggie. And they just talked about just the second verse in Niggas Bleed. Talk about my man Arizona rolling out in Tucson, Push the Black Yukon. Like, yeah, I mean, so just the way that he painted that picture about his man that was his connect out in Arizona, telling his story. He a criminal, nigga making America's most, slit his baby mother's brother, slit his throat. The nigga caught back with the toast, beat it, took it to court, beat it. Now he feeling he undefeated. He made it.
Lavish Habits came back speaking Spanish. Fuck comes up with this
Spanish
shit?
Came back speaking Spanish. Lavish Habits.
I mean, who comes up with this shit?
Right. So the stories he was able to tell, it was like cinema on paper, right? Even Styles said, he's like, that verse right there. He said, you could say, bring something to Martin Scorsese, 2024, 2025, 2026, Scarface, the Arizona Ron story. It's cinema on paper, bro, is what it is. On wax is what it is. See, when I tell people how Biggie separates himself from people, from other rappers, that's where you do it, right? Because we can all rap about money's hoes and clothes. We can all rap about the streets. We can all talk about ladies. We can all talk about the game. But when you talk about painting a picture so goddamn vivid that you can see it in your head, this nigga's rapping it, and you can feel like you were fucking there, standing there, looking at it. When you want to talk about how he separates himself, that's how Big separates himself and ends up in the top 5 of this list. Because of that, 30 years later, and ain't nobody telling stories like him, and they're not named Nasir Jones. Nobody.
Today's agenda. I got the suitcase up in the central.
Go to room 112 and tell them Rocco sent you.
B.Cox, stop, man. Hey, oh man. Big.
Yo, all apologies to your man Reddy, because he going at me in the comments about having Pac over Big, bro. But you got to think, man, it's a regional thing for me, man. I respect Pac, man. And like I said, you could flip a coin with the two of them, bro. And I shout out to you in the comments. You're killing it right now. But to me, Big is ahead of Pac just by a little bit, only because of when I came up, where I grew up, man, and what he meant to me personally. So
the allegiance, it was, and at that time, B.Cox, we almost had to pick a side.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And if you was a Pac fan, you could outwardly love Big too much. And if you was a Big guy, you just had to be like, yeah, Pac is. But when you mature and you get past all of that, because that was just all foolish beef, Big was fucking brilliant, bro.
Yeah.
The greatest storyteller outside of Nasir Jones.
Yeah.
God ever made on the mic, bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you get on
with with all respect to Slick Rick and Scarface and any other great storyteller out there that are phenomenal, man. But nobody other than Nasir Jones is touching Biggie with that storytelling shit, bro. They not, man.
Nah. I'm with you on that. Nah, yeah. I'm with you. Go ahead, B.Cox. You cooking, man. You cooking. Get us to the top. We in our top 3 now, B.Cox.
Top 3.
All right, who we got?
Mr. Duckworth himself, Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
We want to talk about you want to talk about runs, right? I want people to understand, regardless of what side of the debate you're on with this, whether you're Aubrey Stan or whatever, what Kendrick is doing right now is it's legendary, bro. Okay. From Section 80, jumping out the box. Good Kid, Mad City made him a superstar. It made him a superstar. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He became the guy when Good Kid, Mad City dropped. I mean, we knew that somebody special had arrived. Like, when you watching music for as long as we've all watched it, and you know that somebody comes on the scene, though, you know when somebody got. Like I said earlier with 50, some people got. You know when somebody has it. Kendrick had it. We saw it with Good Kid, Mad City. But then To Pimp a Butterfly drops. And that completely changed my outlook on Kendrick from this guy's not just a rap superstar. This is the guy that has the potential to become a musical icon because of what the content of that album was. It was groundbreaking. It was culture shifting, just like some of those other albums we talked about. It was inventive and creative in a way that Good Kid, Mad City wasn't. 2 great and classic albums, but 2 very, very different styles. And the fact that you could do that in that short of a period of time between albums.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. And then he takes a little bit of time off, and afterwards he drops Damn, which some people won't regard as high as Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly. but still has bangers after bangers after bangers, and also stylistically an album that conceptually is about as brilliant as an album you could think about. If you ever read up about Damn, if you haven't, read up about the concept of Damn, about how it's sequenced, and you can come back and talk to us about this. Then he takes an extended break afterwards, because at this point the boy is on a heater run. He collects some accolades. He's already got a few Grammys in the tuck, and then he wins the Pulitzer Prize for his work on Damn, right? And then he gives us an album with Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. And that helps to bear his soul to people in regards to what it is he's going through. And we saw another side of Kendrick. We saw another part of the artistic expression that came out and jumped and bit us right in the ass. And then we knew this is somebody who had it. And then he follows up with this whole thing, which put him right back into the consciousness of this battle he has with Drake. And that is what lifted him into the stratosphere in regards to his responses to Drake on record, once he finally decided to step in the ring with the one person that he probably hated the most. And he gave us heater after heater after heater with that until he effectively ended the battle. And in my opinion, ended the discussion as well between the two of them, right? Then right after that drops, he's hot. So he drops GNX. And he makes, in my opinion, a classic West Coast album, right? And he collects more Grammys as a result of that in between all this stuff as well. So he's starting to rack up the Grammy wins. He's starting to also rack up the accolades as well. Kendrick being so high on my list. Damn, why the hell, B.Cox, you got Kendrick Lamar so high on your list? Because, God damn it, look at the resume, asshole.
Talk it, B.Cox.
Look at the goddamn resume. Did anybody ever look at Michael Jordan when he was playing and said, why the fuck is this nigga considered the best player in the game? No. Why? Because he was going out every single night and busting niggas' asses on the basketball court. That's exactly what the fuck Kendrick Lamar has been doing now ever since 2011. And effectively since 2012, since he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, he's been busting us in the ass. Yeah, little breaks here and there, but guess what? Jordan retired and came back too, didn't he? Yeah. Still came back and bust niggas' ass when he took a break. Still came back and bust motherfuckers' ass afterwards. Lyrically proficient, stylistically and artistically has developed along the way with each one of these albums, and you can't say that his music has become formulaic. He's changed himself, developed, evolved. His music has become the point where we not only just, I see your boy already saying that Tupac's being studied in classes. He is. Guess what they're studying in classes now? Kendrick. They're studying his music now, and he's still rapping. He's still fucking going. And I don't know what his Grammy count up is to now. I mean, shit, it's like, what, 15 or something like that now? I don't know what the fuck it's at. It's pretty goddamn high, though. I do know whenever the fuck he drops, nobody else has a fucking shot at winning it. And I'm not saying that Grammys are the measure in regards to how great he is, but look at the fucking resume. Lyrically proficient, at the top of his game and better than anybody else in this era, in this generation, to a point where he's leaped into so many people's top 20 and top 10s now, all time. And it's warranted. He's on a heater and he's still fucking going. Commercial success, legacy, impact, cultural significance. He has all of it. And he's still going. And he's still going. Look at the resume, assholes. What do your eyeballs tell you? What does Scarface say? The eyes, Chico, they never lie.
The eyes never lie, Chico.
That's why he's in my top 3. Because he's doing shit right now that even some of the people who are ahead on my list of him right now haven't even done yet.
I think B.Cox, when it comes to Kendrick, man, for me, he was the dark horse out of this entire list. I hadn't even really gave, when me and you were communicating in the DMs and was, and I was just giving my suggestions. he was a dark horse in the race. I hadn't even really taken the time to really realize how amazing this man's career has been. I mean, he's had some tectonic shifts in hip hop that he created himself.
Yeah.
And when you cover all the metrics from just bar none, just can rap your fucking ass off.
Like it's nobody's business.
Like it's nobody's business. From the gravitas in his voice to the work, I mean, just man, and then the depth of the content, the evolution.
The depth. And the evolution is artistry, bro. Yeah.
And it's artistry. I mean, I have no problem with him being 3. And I mean, I fuck it, because I can understand that. You can get on to number 2, man. I like it. I'm with you.
So number 2.
Woo! Talk to me, B.Cox.
My personal favorite. God's son himself, the golden child, Nasir.
Man, that's our number 1. Our personal number, both our number 1s. Go ahead, B.Cox.
I have Nas so high on my list for a lot of the reasons why I have Kendrick so high on my list. But it's been for a longer period of time. We already know the resume, man. Illmatic, 19 years old, still as magnificent as an album that's been put out in hip-hop history. It was written a follow-up album that didn't get much love when it came out, but now is being regarded as one of the standout albums, not just in 1996, but of all the 90s altogether. I mean, the catalog has gotten some criticism at times from some of the releases that he's had. But the one thing that is maintained is that he's always found a way to rebound, resurge. And nobody has ever been able to question the lyrical prowess of Nasir Jones and what he's able to do on that mic and with his pen. It is literally, like I said, in a rare air of people who can do what he does, and not many people can do what he does. I would even say that nobody can do what he does and how he does it, right? That's the thing. See, it's one thing to get knocked down off your horse if you have some slip ups, but then to come back and then come back even better than ever. So he drops Nas' I Am is now in retrospect a pretty dope album with a few slip ups here and there, a couple of tracks that you don't necessarily care for. Drops Nostradamus. Really not a great album, and I would say some people would even say it's up there in the bottom 2 of his worst albums that he's put out, right?
I agree.
The thing happens between him and Jay-Z. Jay is dropping Blueprint, Dre drops Takeover. What does Nas do? Nas drops Ether, and then Nas drops Stillmatic. And then right then he's right back there in the fucking ring and in the ring and is battling it out again at the top of the fucking mountain, right? Then he drops Godson, a great follow-up afterwards. Then there's some albums afterwards that are kind of like, solid, dope, and, kind of relate. You get the Street Disciples, the Untitled album, things of that nature. He dropped Distant Relatives, which was to me, I think in retrospect, to me is a really dope album with Damian Marley, man. It's a great album to chill and listen to when you're. It's a good cigar album, actually. I tell people, man, that Distant Relatives is.
It is.
He has this thing with Khalees. He's down and out because she done taken him for half of what he got. And then he dropped something like Life is Good. Incredible album.
One of my favorites. And you can argue that it's probably either 4th or 5th in the list of his discography of albums in regards to Nas' catalog. Right? Then he has a little bit of a slower period there, and and within that is also Hip Hop is Dead, which was in that middle period that we're talking about as well. Which to me, I liked Hip Hop is Dead, even though the criticism he got for naming his album that was from a lot of people in the South, especially, took exception to that. They thought he was talking about them, but he took a little bit of a break. He drops and then comes out with the Nasir album, which he dropped with Kanye, which by and large was a disappointment. It was.
But goddamn, Nasir is never going to be down for long, because damned if he didn't a few years later link up with Hit Boy himself and give us the first of the King's Disease series and King's Disease, which was immaculate, which was great, right? This is when we say, damn, Nas still got it and Nas is back. But then a year later, he drops KD2. And KD2 to me is an album that holds a special place in my heart because it came out right before I had my bachelor party and right before I got married. Incredible work. And just to me, on a personal level, so many of those songs resonated with me because I saw that the artistry of Nas was still there. And that Hit Boy production was just, it was money every single time. Then out of nowhere on Christmas Eve, later on that year, he fucks around and drops Magic.
Yeah.
Blown the fuck away by Magic, only 9 tracks. And just like Illmatic, it was like, what the fuck? This is all you're giving us, dude? Seriously? And not even a year after that, he drops King's Disease 3. Another like fucking classic Nas album. Just him on top of his game lyrically. That Hit Boy production just destroying it. And then he drops, he finished out the KD2 and the King's Disease and Magic series with Magic 2 and Magic 3. He just dropped that premiere album last year. Mixed opinions about that. I actually enjoyed the album because I saw it from a different lens. This wasn't Primo and Nas in 1994. This was Primo and Nas 30 years later. Therefore, some things are going to be different. You couldn't expect what you want to get for Illmatic on this album. You couldn't. So to do it from 1991, from Breaking Atoms, Live at the Barbecue, you talked about it. You gave the line, he went to hell for snuffing Jesus.
Come on, bro.
All the way up to 2025. We're talking about 34 years of you lyrically on top of your game, being recognized as one of the best lyricists in the game, if not the best lyricist in the game.
Yeah.
Having classic albums with the breadth of different producers, from DJ Premier to Large Professor to Pete Rock to the Track Masters to Havoc to Dame Grease, back to Premier, Large Professor, Salam Remy. I could keep going on and on. Hit Boy, with the series that he had with Hit Boy. I mean, he just keeps going. And whenever he has a little bit of a slip up, he keeps getting the fuck back up and letting you know just how bad of a motherfucker he is. 34 years he's been doing this and letting us know that he's the baddest motherfucker to pick up a mic in that time period. And he's been going. No matter what the detractors may want to say about him. Oh, he doesn't know how to pick beats. Oh, ain't nobody playing Nas around bitches. Oh, ain't this, whatever. I don't give a fuck what the fuck it is you got to say. I don't. Nasir Jones is in a rarefied air of MCs, and he's been doing it for 34 fucking years. And just recently, he gave us not one, but 2 trios of albums that gave us multiple classics within those 6 albums. That's all I got to say.
Man, well, B.Cox, Nas has become, when I always give my top 5, man, we talked about this, B.Cox. Nas, the continuum of music, he's number 1 all time for me. And I will be the first to admit, we didn't get Illmatic in Chicago. Like growing up, it didn't, Common talked about it. I guess it got leaked. We didn't get Illmatic. It just didn't come there. And so Nas, we were late to the party on Nas in Chicago, and then he didn't have the radio hits or anything like that. You and me talked about, him just opposed to Big, Ready to Die versus just opposed to him. Man, we and you did a whole take on that. Nas was that guy that he's from another fucking rap planet.
Yeah,
I don't even know
another galaxy.
He's from some Nas. When I think rappers, I don't even consider him in any pantheon of rap. Like Nas is from another fucking galaxy. Because this man rapped a whole song, a concept backwards.
Yep.
Rewind. Who the fuck can do that?
Before J. Cole did it. Absolutely. Yep.
Before J. Cole did it. Thank you, B.Cox.
Yeah.
And okay. Again, Chicago, growing up, it's a rah-rah town, rah-rah city. When he came with that goddamn Hate Me Now, he was like, oh, he got that shit in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got that shit for real in him.
Yeah.
Basketball season has returned.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Here's the thing with Nas, and you and me, we talked about this too in our take. I always felt he didn't never pick the best beats.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Man, listen, fuck all of that now. Go back and listen to what the fuck the man was saying. Lyrically to this day, there is no one that can touch Nasir Jones on the fucking microphone.
Yeah.
And not only that, B.Cox, do his shit. Don't nobody come tear your ass up on a fucking feature like Nas.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pay me to get on a feature with Nas.
Yeah.
I told you, B.Cox. I like Common. Coming from the crib.
Mm-hmm.
He did on that song, Get Old Dreams.
Yeah.
Man, he ate Common. And then he wasn't trying to. The boy's so nasty with it.
Yeah.
From Mob Deep.
Yeah.
Life is Mine.
Yeah.
Silk Shirts. What a flirt.
Yeah.
Everyone kisses at the bottom. Streisand
concert.
Are you kidding? What are we talking about here, B.Cox?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to come present day.
Yep.
And when he did that run with Hit Boy, that solidified it for me because you had everything you needed.
Yep.
He got the beat. He had all the perfect beats. He had a producer with sensibility to get him all the fucking beats he needed. He had a modern sound, but it was still vintage Nas. But the thing with his evolution, his maturation, and KD2 is my favorite as well.
Yeah.
How he talked about Death Row East and he broke all these things down.
Man.
40 side. I mean, not.
Yeah.
I've never heard nobody be as street, as poetic. B.Cox, you and me can go on and Nas and talk about Nas, man. Nas is not he's not a normal human being when it comes to rapping. I don't know where. Go ahead.
Yeah, not from. Yeah. And we talked about his storytelling, right? We talked about Biggie and the storytelling. I said there's nobody in the planet not named Nasir Jones that can storytell better than him. Well, Nasir Jones can. And if you want to talk about the stories that he told you through raps, whether it was One Love or even New York State of Mind, the original one, and then even the part 2.
Oh my God!
But then you also then get into the story he told you from the perspective of a gun on I Gave You Power, or Suspects, or Shootouts, right? Then you go to the third album and you get the story like that you get from like on Money Is My Bitch or Undying Love. I mean, come on, man. Rewind. You talked about him telling a story in reverse. I mean, like these Death Row East, you mentioned that on KD2. He laid out the whole thing about with that confrontation between him and Pac and gave you the real exactly how the fuck it went down in 2 verses. And there's nobody better than him at doing that, man. That's where you talk about how he separates himself. And I remember that he gave a master class actually when it came to about storytelling through song, right? And I saw one clip and it was like 2 minutes long. In that 2 minutes, that man so eloquently broke down his writing process when it came to him telling a story through a song. And he's like, yeah. So if I'm talking about walking into a room, one, I'm thinking about the environment that I might be in, the color of the walls, the furniture that might be there. There might be a table that has a glass of wine sitting next to it, half drinking with a lipstick on it. And you might notice the smell that's in the air. Is that weed? Is it something else? You know, there might be something else off about it. The blinds are half closed. Like all those things are things and details that I try to think about when I'm writing this song, that in the environment that I'm in, how many details can I capture in this verse to paint this picture for this person? And I just sat there and said, God damn it, that is fucking brilliant. Like that is fucking brilliant. Like who the genius is what that takes. Is exactly what that takes. 34 years, man. 34 years.
Nas is not even from this plane when it comes to rap. Because I mean, you and me, he's on our number one, both of our number ones of all time, man. The thing that I cherish the most about him in this run, you have with him, he's kept the music number one. Like he never overexposed himself. He always kept the integrity of the music number one. You didn't see him. Yeah, he made one movie. Goddamn, he said, "I'm done with that. I did one and I'm done. I'm not trying to go do a whole bunch of things that ain't really me." Mm-hmm. His foundation has always been the music. he has a rabid fan base
Yep.
that will damn near come to fisticuffs about Nas.
Absolutely.
He also has a legion of lady friends too, that women, female admirers that love Nas.
Oh yeah.
He's got the gamut, and Nas has always been fly. He's always been cool. He's always just been intelligent. Nothing but kudos, man, and love and respect and veneration for Nasir Jones, because I ain't got enough to add to that, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're at the end.
At the end, we had to finally made it to the number one spot, man.
Number one.
All right, B.Cox, let's close it out with the number one spot, brother.
And number one, I had to give it to him because nobody's done it like him, as long as him, and had as much success as him, and did it prolifically as him. It's none other than Sean Corey Carter himself, Jay-Z. And I put Jay at the number one spot for this reason. He jumped on the scene in 1996, dropped Reasonable Doubt, classic, right? 97 drops In My Lifetime Volume 1, dope album. In My Lifetime Volume 2 made him a superstar, launched him into that next level of superstar. Dope album. He continues to drop dope after dope album, and lyrically he continued to evolve after that first album. Like he always says, I'm always switching the styles up. This one's gonna get bit up, as he told us on the Black album. I mean, for damn near 7 consecutive years, he dropped albums and they consistently hit. And at a certain point, they were always number one on the charts. And what did he do? He gave us a plethora of radio and club hits to party with. And he did it so effortlessly. And he was always number one on the charts, always on the radios, selling out tours, Hard Knock Life tours, Streets is Watching, the Def Jam Survival of the Illest tour, all these ones that he's been on. And then his style evolved. He went from writing his lyrics down to eventually not even writing them down at all. Then he gets into a point where artistically he's so great that he's able to step into a studio, hear a beat, and then go and do a song. Ain't No Love in the City. They said he did that literally in 45 minutes. No do-overs, no other takes. He just did it just like that. Greatness. He gets these albums. These albums are all going number one. They're going onto the charts. He's recognized, obviously, for his skill. And he did it consistently from 1996 to 2017 when he dropped 444. Now, he took some breaks. Remember, he quasi-retired. He only retired for 2 years, came back with Kingdom Come. He kept dropping albums. And while the later albums in his catalog weren't as great, okay, Kingdom Come, Blueprint 3 was kind of questionable. Magna Carta was not great at all. 444 to me, I still say is, in retrospect to me now, I would say there's some problems I have with that album too. But if nothing else, he always stayed in the radios and stayed in our ears at all times. You could not escape Jay-Z wherever you went. For 20 years, he was as visible as a rapper as anybody else that was out there. And his albums were always number one. He mentioned that on Kingdom Come, by the way. How many number one albums he had? He did. And it wasn't just the fact that he was doing that. He was doing it and was still the quotables as well that you're getting from Jay-Z. And these things that you think, again, he's doing, not writing it down. It's all up here. Where did Wayne get that from? He got it from Jay. He did that from Jay. How many other rappers afterwards started saying, oh, I'm not even writing my lyrics down. I'm going to do what Jay did. They tried to do it, but they couldn't do it as well as him.
No.
Because you're not Jay. You're not. You're not Jay. And then during that time period, like we talk about time periods and who people brought you into. So my college years were full of Jay and Rockefeller, right? When I'm in college, the Blueprint drops, Blueprint 2 drops, Black Album drops, all when I'm in college. Our parties were full of nothing but Jay-Z and Rockefeller hits. And when that Black Album dropped, man, and you thought that his career was coming to an end, it was like a celebration. I said about this on my review when I was on The Vault about Jay-Z and the celebration that the Black Album was as an end to his career. And it was a triumphant celebration. It was. But just so many quotables that he had from those songs that gripped you, things that obviously still stick with you down to this day. 20 years later, we're still getting these Jay-Z songs getting played on these mixes, these club hits that are still big club hits now.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. Oh, and let's not even talk about him ghostwriting for other people.
Still Dre.
You know, which by the way, I don't understand how the fuck one particular podcaster could be a hip hop authority and still only find out in 2026 that he's the one who wrote Still DRE. He just found that out. I ain't gonna name the guy's name. I'm not gonna give him.
We don't give him no shine.
No pub. I ain't gonna give him no pub. But why do I have Jay number one on the list? Because he was on top for so long and did it for a long period of time. And even when he was gone, people were still wondering when he was going to drop. And even when he wasn't putting out albums, he was still on features, dropping stuff like, Best of Both Worlds, Watch the Throne, on tour, selling out football stadiums, lyrically still proficient, Unplugged, still doing things, American Gangster.
That was a hell of an album too. Say
I
hello.
mean, just to talk about, what he did and him doing, like, what did he say at the beginning? What more can I say? Never been a nigga this good for this long. And that's the damn truth. He was right. And yeah, Drake's probably sold more than him. Yeah, lines might be better lyrically than him overall. But when he put the whole shit together, bro, when we talk about all those things, the criteria you talked about as far as runs were concerned, he checks every single box on that list, and he checks it twice because that's how good he was, right? We're still clamoring now. It's been 30 years after his debut album, and we're still wondering whether we're going to get another Jay album or not. We're still talking about that now, about why? Because we know how good he was and how good he is and how good he can still be because we saw it for 20 some odd years of how good he was, man. We saw the excellence. We saw the accolades. We saw the numbers. We saw the influence. And, he took some time, got married, had kids, became a businessman, started, empires, billionaire now, everything, literally rags to riches stories right there in him. It's John Corey Carter, Jay-Z. It is. And as much as people would want to hate to say that he's on the top of this list, when we talk about runs, you say the best runs in hip hop history, all that criteria, you put it together, and there's nobody else on this list that has all of those things that he has and has been doing it for this long and has done it that well. They haven't. And you got to give a dog his due. He's been doing it ever since then, since 96 when he first dropped A Reasonable Doubt, which, by the way, is still my favorite Jay-Z album. Still to this day, it's still my favorite Jay-Z album. And, we talk about legacy and impact. It's all there with him, man. Just like, if people want to say Wayne to go, like, Wayne got inspired by Jay, man. You want to talk about that? Yeah, Wayne got inspired by Jay. And if Drake was inspired by Wayne, then he was inspired by Jay. Drake is trying to do Jay's act, but not lyrically doing it as well and doing it with the whitewashed audience. It's still when we talk about hip hop runs, Jay has given us a hip hop run that is still unmatched to this day because of all that criteria you mentioned when you put it all together and put it in the ball. That's why he's my number one.
Because I don't have any pushback on Jay-Z. You talk about a timestamp, and I think that just so the audience is clear, this is not ranking his top MCs. We've had
MCs. No.
Not like I want to make sure everybody understands this. These are not B.Cox's top MCs. If it was, Nas would be number one. He's already no. These are hip hop runs, like the length, the impact, the commercial success. So this is a lot that goes into this. This is not just like your favorite MCs. I just want to make sure we articulate that to the to the viewers that this is not that. This is overall who had the hottest run at that time. Yep. And as much as we love Big and Pac, they didn't live enough life. You can't put them over people that's still doing it. That's not. Now you want to put them in your top five. You want to have them 1 and 2 as your favorite artists. You can do that. That's all subjective to the viewer. But we're talking about, or to the person, we're talking about the greatest runs of all time. Now, with that being said, Jay-Z, his music was the zeitgeist for me and when I get out the military. Like when I got when that Reasonable Doubt came out, B.Cox, I was in Japan in the military, I was in the Navy.
Okay.
Nobody over there was like, I was like, who the fuck is this dude? That Can I Live? I grabbed that shit because now over there at that time, you were just blind purchases. You didn't know. But I just liked the album cover. I was like, who is this dude with the hat? No, I said, I saw the back. I saw three dudes. I said, no, fuck it. Let me pop this shit in. And from the time you heard his voice, his wordplay, you knew this dude was different.
Yeah.
And I was with him. Hey man, you know what? This in my lifetime, volume 1. Yeah. Cough Up a Long Way from Mars. He had some bangers on there too. A lot of people sleep on that one. But when that boy came out with that goddamn volume 2, that Hard Knock Life, he was out of here.
Yeah.
He was out of here.
Yeah.
No skips.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, that album, Hard Knock Life, volume 2, that in my lifetime, volume 2, Hard Knock Life album. That was me in Virginia, B.Cox, when I was got out the military. Me, my brother Marquise, we played that shit. That Jay-Z was forever the backdrop. Yeah. That Blueprint came out. That Blueprint, man, I mean, no
Dropped
skip.
9/11.
B.Cox, dude, Jay-Z has had problems. And then when he did Big Pimpin' with Bun, and he went and got Bun and Pimp, and I mean, lyrically, man, he's a lyrical chameleon. He could rap anywhere with anybody at any time. Yeah. And I still, to this day, I challenge anybody, find me a whack Jay-Z verse. Find one whack Jay-Z verse.
Exactly. Yeah.
As he
you'd be hard pressed to find.
You'd be hard pressed.
Yeah.
To have the commercial success was still keeping. He didn't go do movies. He didn't go do a lot of shit. He stayed true to the music. He did his, he did the corporate thing at Def Jam and all of that. But to have a run this long with so many classic albums, the man sold out a fucking concert. What is it, Madison Square Garden? I think sold out. I think 3 days. It was sold out a long time ago. And we're hoping that he drops a new album. But if you want to still hear Jay-Z got it, go listen to God Did.
Oh yeah.
He opened that motherfucker up.
Yeah.
He opened that motherfucker up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have no. But Jay-Z all-time great. B.Cox, all number 1 hip-hop run of all time. You got to give it to Hov, man.
Yeah, you do, man. You do. And all the checks all the boxes, and like I said, checks them twice. You got to give him his due.
Wow. Because we just went through a top 20. You had 5 honorable mentions. Now there's one I gotta ask about, and then we're gonna wrap it up, man. That I submitted for entry, but he didn't make the list.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask about Earl Simmons.
So DMX is if I will put him up, I'd also will put him in the honorable mention. Very short, like we talk about time period as far as the peak was concerned, right? 98 to like 03.
Yeah.
Hot as fish grease. In 98, he was the biggest rapper in the world, bigger than Jay-Z, right? 99, 98 dropped 2 albums, went number 1. Only other person who did that, Tupac. 1 calendar year. Only other person who did that was Tupac. 1 calendar year. 99 dropped there. Then there was X that really helped to prop him up into commercial superstardom, right? With Party Up and everything. Then he gets into the Grand Champ era and everything else, and the other album I can't remember the name of it, and the dropped in 01, but he had great success between that 5-year period. He was hot. He really was hot, man. The thing that leaves X off of this list for me is that period was brief and he was hot. Afterwards, you don't really get much of anything from DMX. He spent the better part of those 18 years leading up to his death, not really much out music put out, the stuff that you would hear about DMX would all be bad things. It would be the overdoses, the troubles with the law, the crazy things he would say on radio interviews, but you weren't seeing like the X that we all knew and loved during that period from 98 to 03 that was tearing shit up, and he was a bad boy that couldn't nobody fuck with. Short era that he was hot as fucking fish grease during that time. But when it ended and it ended badly, because after that we didn't get anything else. We didn't have anything else from DMX afterwards that was noteworthy. So that was it. Yeah, a short period, just like Nas and just like Big. Culturally, he will be relevant. Yes, because of what he did, the albums that he dropped, the songs, his impact in regards to his voice and the style and the energy. But a lot of folks are going to remember a lot of other things about him that are not going to be related towards rap at all, man. And that's going to be the unfortunate part about it, because he was an incredible artist, even if it was for a short period of time. So if I would put him, I'll put him in my honorable mentions, but it was a short period of time that he was fucking incredible. And afterwards, man, it was a sharp fall off the cliff. And to all of us that loved his music and loved what he brought to the mic and to the game, man, it was a sad thing to see.
Okay, B.Cox, we touched upon these two, and we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let you explain. Just again, they were submitted for entry, but I'll let the aficionado and the maven do what he do. Nelly and Ja Rule. What was the criteria for them not to be mentioned? What was there for B.Cox to say close but no cigar?
Well, Nelly, commercial success out of this world. I think honestly, we talk about commercial success. There's probably only three other artists that probably top him on this list, and that's Eminem, Jay, and Drake. He's right up there with them as far as commercial success is concerned. Stylistically, he was very unique. I just don't know how influential he was in regard to seeing how many people was trying to copy what it was that he was trying to do, right? Because he was a bit of a unique act. And again, with him, it was a sharp fall off the cliff. You had Country Grammar, diamond selling album, Nellyville, 8 million copies sold. The album he dropped in 04, I think it was Hot and Wet, whatever the name of the album was, where it dropped down and get your eagle on, girl. That was big and had some hits to him or whatever. And then he had some radio hits in between that. He did this crossover thing as well. So he had some success, but just like that with Nelly, he kind of moved on to other shit and rode his star off of what he was before. And then he was on some features, grills, and stuff like that, but it was kind of not a sharp fall off the cliff like DMX, because he was still he still had money, he still everything.
Right.
But it's just like he kind of after a while was just like, fuck music, I'm all right, I'll just do these businesses and maybe have a label or something, and I'll lay around and lay up with Ashanti and shit on and off again for a few years, and finally we have a baby and get married type shit. You know what I'm saying? So for Nelly, it was a short period of time. The commercial success he had was crazy those first two albums, bro. And on the charts, he had it. He had those hits on the Billboard charts. He crossed over and had some appeal. But then after a while, just like he kind of just said, fuck music.
That's fair.
So, I mean, yeah, Nelly from 2000 to 2004, 5 was... Yeah, that nigga was just as big as anybody commercially, and success-wise, he had it. But after a while, he was kind of like, I'll stick around and be famous for being Nelly, right? But other than that, I don't think I really need to do much music that's relevant anymore, because I made my money. I'm going to keep making it.
All right.
I mean, we sell 18 million records in 3 years. It's kind of hard to debate about, whether or not you still need to keep doing stuff as long as you're managing your money right? I mean...
He sold his catalog and got like 40, 50 million off that motherfucker. So he doing all right. Okay, last one, B.Cox. The Rule.
So with Ja Rule, again, at his peak, There was like a 2-year period when Ja Rule was killing the radio, bro.
People forget that shit. They forget that.
Ja Rule was killing. My first couple of years in college, Ja
about
Rule and Murder Inc. were fucking killing the radio, and our parties were packed with those songs, and they were bangers, and they still are to this day, still bangers. You listen to them old Ja Rule hits and them old Ja Rule songs. What happened to Ja Rule? 50 happened to Ja Rule. That's why. Okay. I mean, he had a very short period where he was really, really great. And once he got popping on the radio and he got on a roll, man, he started cooking. And them club hits and them radio hits and them they was coming in, bro. But Ja Rule had it. The club hits, like those club hits from my college days, man, those radio hits from college days, they were, man. Oh man, you want to talk about some, all the stuff like the, Lil Mo Put It On Me, all these little, the songs with Vita, with Ashanti, Ride or Die, Down Ass Chick, and all those songs, man, were all made up a big part of my college experience, bro. That shit made parties pop, man. It's songs even now, 20-something years later, dog, we still party to and we listen to, man. We'll still give it its respect, man. But after 50, though, after Get Rich and Die Trying,
yeah,
and after G Unit got on Rule Ass and Murder Ain't Gas, bro, it was kind of game set and match after that, bro. That was it. That was it.
I'm not gonna ask you about him because he don't really qualify, but do you think you can answer this abbreviated, B.Cox? What hasn't the game did enough of to make the list in any regards?
Documentary classic, Doctor's Advocate, essential, damn near classic album.
Very good album.
LAX, yeah. Pretty good album. Afterwards, it's just kind of like what Game's problem is. I said this about Ross earlier. Formulaic, right? Like that nigga's music does not evolve, bro. 20 years later, like I understand you are what you are, right?
Right.
But
all that, yeah. But come on,
this nigga is still doing the same shit he did in 05, bro. You still making references to all these other rappers, comparing yourself to Big, to Pac, to Easy, to Dre, to Snoop, to all these other people. You still talking this blood and shit like dog.
That's fair.
It's like I get it. Lyrically bad in his era, as good lyrically as some of the best. And can go. I've heard him go on some albums, and that's what drew me to him in the first place, man. He's also, when he wants to be, a very good storyteller as well. When he wants to be. But it's just too formulaic after a while, man. And at some point in time, it's like, just dude, you gonna when are we gonna evolve here? When are we gonna evolve here? And he hasn't evolved much at all in 20 years. If anything, I think he's gotten worse.
Yeah, he's regressed. I think he's worse than Ross.
Well, he's also, as much shit he talks about 50, he also is sort of turned into this social media troll over time and has tried to insert himself into that type of game. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's going on? So that's why I didn't want to put him in there, man. Like I said, those first two albums are crazy. LAX was good too, man, but it's just, there's just too much. It's just like Ross, man, the same old shit over and over again. And sometimes after a while, you just get tired, like, all right, man, we get it, man. You big, you Pac, you Easy, you this, you. Yeah, man. All right, we get it.
Okay. Well, B.Cox, man, I am I'm always, man, you cease to amaze me, brother. 3 hours of nonstop, amazing, profound explanations on first your honorable mention, your 5 honorable mentions, and then 20 of hip hop's greatest runs. I don't know too many human beings on this fucking planet not named B.Cox that could do that. I'm gonna say not none. I'm gonna put you in that rarefied air. I think you in your own way are like Nasir. That's probably why you like him. You in another fucking planet when it comes to this shit, brother.
I appreciate that, man.
You are, man. It's nobody that could talk for 3 hours and keep you enthralled and justify why the fuck you picked your shit and defended it with stats, not just emotions. You defended it with stats and facts that nobody could deny. Now, hey, again, if you got your favorite top MCs, all right, fine. That's your fucking favorite.
Yeah.
But when you came with runs, you just didn't. You took you could tell your emotions weren't in it. You even say, he's like, hey man, even this guy, I'm not the biggest fan, but I can't take raw. Hey, I gotta give this man his just due. So I thought you were fair. I thought you were honest as always. And man, it's a fucking masterclass, brother. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have done this again with you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sir, I'm happy that you're back.
It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. Yeah.
It's time stamped. This is our first collab with me and the DR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have to come out there with you to DR to do a show live, man.
We're gonna do one live, brother. We're gonna do one live. You damn right, we're gonna do one live, man. It's time stamped. You're welcome, your family. B.Cox, man, tell the people what's coming up, and then you and me, we gotta already put in the atmosphere. When we gonna recut collab again, because I know it's gonna fucking come, brother. But what's coming up for you right now, man?
Man, so I've been on hiatus, man. For those of y'all who've been following me on social media, notice that the Vault Classic Music Reviews podcast has been silent for about a year or so. I'm like, I mentioned to Mac earlier in the show, life has been lifing, man. I went through some life things, job, family stuff I needed to handle at home. And, at some point in time, when that stuff was going on, man, the last thing I was worrying about was recording a podcast, to be quite honest, man. I had bigger things that I had to worry about that required my attention during that time. But in these last few months, as those things have stabilized, my wife even told me, she said, babe, you got to start recording again. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I've had people coming and telling me like, hey, man, you got to start recording again, man. We need you back in the saddle. And I've been wanting to get back to it myself. So I will say, man, we will be not relaunching the Vault, but we will be restarting the Vault back again. And I would say look out on social media at Vault Classic Pod on all social media handles that you can find. Threads, X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit at Vault Classic Pod. Follow me. Check us out. I'm going to be updating the website soon, but we will be getting restarted back up, and we are still doing anniversary milestone albums. We are in the year of 2026, and we are going back now 20 years to 2006. So I am actually glad to say, announcing this live on Mactastic TV on Cigar Chats with Mac, that my return album to review on the Vault Classic Music Reviews after a year will be none other than 2006 T.I.'s King. First review back.
Wow.
So look out for it. We're going to be dropping more hot shit soon, man. But I'm going to be doing more of that this year. The content's going to change a little bit this year. You'll be seeing some more interesting things from me. I'll be doing some album reviews. I'm going to be doing some more look backs. I'm also going to be doing a lot of underrated albums that aren't necessarily classics, but albums that should be in consideration that we may have forgotten that deserve their just due. Because I've had a lot of people in my inbox in the years asking me about certain albums, and I have a couple on my list that I want to talk about that I may tackle in some bonus episodes. So just make sure that y'all stay tuned, man. VaultClassicPod.com on all social media handles. And of course, the website, VaultClassicPod.com. VaultClassicPod.com, the website. Make sure y'all check that out. Every time an episode drops, you can go right there to get there from any podcast platform that you want to get to. Wherever you listen, you can get to it right from there, man. But just make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Your boy's coming back, and I'm coming back with the vengeance. So y'all already know what it is.
Man, we happy, man. That's music star is. Again, man, people with B.Cox love you on Mactastic TV. As a matter of fact, I have, due to these movies and shit, man, that I'm filming, I said it was only one person that's gonna get me back in the lab. And it's only one person that I'm gonna get back in the lab with, and I may not release a content at the same clip as I used to, because again, man, these movies take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I am going to try to at least schedule at least 2 of these, 3 of these with you a year.
Yeah.
Keep that rotation, man, because as my star continues to rise, I definitely want to bring all the people that's been with me from day one. B.Cox got down with me long before I became Roman in Cinderella. B.Cox said, "Damn, I know this nigga. Ain't this
I
a
know this nigga, man.
this nigga is this nigga. I know this nigga. God damn."
Hey, man, that shit was a damn good job. I was just sitting there looking. I'm sitting there watching the movie, and I'm like, God damn, Mac is playing the fuck out of this role. I fucking hate this nigga. Like this nigga is a bastard. I'm sitting there looking at this shit like, God damn, this nigga Mac. I'm sitting there thinking about, I'm about to be like, man, next time I talk to Mac, I'll be like, Mac, so did you draw on any personal experience on being this powerful man, holding this young girl against her will, giving her a fresh start, but having her acquiesce to every single one of your needs? I was like, damn, this nigga is a bastard. This nigga doing a good ass job. I hate this motherfucker, man.
Hey, B.Cox, man. I had so many women like, no, it's fucking acting, man.
It's
dude,
acting. It's a
acting.
job.
It's just a job, man. But here's the crazy thing about that, B.Cox. That's a turn on for women. It's just the craziest shit in the world.
Say no more. I already know, man. I already know.
Yeah. So, but no, man. Man, I was always, my sister Tammy, man, we always be laughing and joking, man. And she, she's very proud of the projects, man, of the Cinderella movie. She's like, God, I pulled from Chicago. Growing up there, a lot of Romans.
Know. Yeah, I
know.
know.
A lot of Romans.
All the hustlers and all the players. Yes, sir.
All the players, man. So it was an easy thing to embody that, because I grew up with them guys and dealt with them and had to fight them to survive. So, but no, man, as my star continues to shine, I want to continue to, man, bring you with me, and we're gonna continue to do this. I don't give a fuck if when I do a movie with Will Smith. All right, I'm about to go record me and my man B.Cox. We're going, so we locked in forever, man. And whenever I do something, but I'm gonna say now, B.Cox, let's just put it out there. Let's try to get something in, man. Maybe midsummer. I'll come up with another concept, and somewhere around July, August, let's start thinking about doing something again. Yeah, and we'll be communicating, brother. But it is a pleasure, and an honor to have you, man. Continue blessings to you and your family, man. I love you, man. Man, I'm just happy to have you back, brother. So without that, man, we're gonna wrap this show up. Man, y'all go back and rewind this shit, rewatch this shit, share it out. Shout out to everybody in the day of chat, man. They got active, man. Everybody.
Shout out to Reddy. I love you, Reddy, even though you disagree with me about Pac and Biggie, bro.
I will give you a funny thing. You know who Reddy really is? That is actually not a guy. You know who Reddy is, B.Cox? That's one of my other sisters, man.
Oh, really? Well, Reddy, ma'am, I apologize that you don't agree with me about Pac and Big, but like I said, it comes from a personal perspective, though. But I appreciate you tuning in with us. I really do, lady. I do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my sister. Thank you. That's my sister Shayna. She's really when she's
nice.
She's gridlocked on her loyalty. When she's loyal about anything,
I get it.
It's fuck that person forever. It's just a Chicago thing, man. So
yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
But yeah, she got it now, man. She thought it was top MC. She understands it was the run, but she's a loyalist, and she's Pac forever. And if anything is the opposite, Pac, then she got it now. But anyway, man, brother, we out of here. Hey, man, y'all run this shit back. God bless y'all, man. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.